Welcome back, everybody, from the intro. Can't get enough of that intro. Super fun, super exciting. But it's time for us to jump into our game. So last we met, the Wayward Five continued recovering from the grievous fight with the Battle Mage and her demons. Each day brought renewed vigor from all save Cal. His shoulder wound keeps splitting open in the night, and the burning pain continues as whatever cursed toxin Lou put into his body takes root. Kieran's awakening, though, seems to bring the party back together as he's able to temper Wiswick's fears and anger about Timber. Later, on a walk in the clear but chilly winter's day, Scarlet shared what happened that night with Timber, whose memory remained foggy at best. Sorrowed by the pain he caused, he brewed her a potion to help protect her if he ever loses control again, and thanked her for protecting his honor in the face of what he had done, or what Lou had done through him. During this time, Wiswick, still confused and frustrated, left the town to return to the site of the abyssal portal. As Oriel had promised, he and Orencia closed the portal. All that remained was the scorched earth and the vile remains of the blood ritual. He spent the day using what magic he had, telekinesis, shape earth, and a wand of flowers, to correct this scar on the earth, to bring peace to this veil. As if it was untouched by the chaos of the world. Back in the medical ward, Oriel visited Kieran. There they spoke of Zendariel, of Oriel's sacrifice, and what lay ahead. Kieran encouraged the governor, saying he was blessed, and that his goddess was with him. The older, grayer, and perhaps wiser man seemed shocked, saying he simply muttered the prayers over Kieran's body, and that he had believed no god was with him due to the sins of his past. The tempering of grief and wounds was quickly chilled by the news that young Robert, the ward of Cal and friend to the Wayward Five, had not survived the demonic attack. Cal and Scarlet visited the body in what would be his unmarked grave. Cal silently took a letter to be delivered to Robert's family in Svarwald, and they returned to their friends to grieve in their own way and to prepare for what must come next. For in the words of Zendariel, I am sorry for how much more you will suffer. With a somewhat renewed sense of purpose, the five left the next day with Oriel. The governor had commissioned a ship to ferry them down the Lapis tributary toward Vermilcia, the Storm Witch, captained by an ostentatious blue tiefling named Albrecht. As the vessel sailed south, Huron used legend lore to beseech the Crescent Heart for information regarding the Chromatis hinterlands, a vast region in the center of Endurus that Zendariel had warned him was the weakest part of the material plane. Earlier in their adventures, they had observed strange phenomena in this area. Sapping of life force, and strange glittering blue trees, and a mountain that shimmered as if coated in an oil slick. This vision manifested an ancient city of the old Gwyn Empire that littered the glittering dale, covering this entire central valley. Truly a fantasy Manhattan. The city emanated with a green light that shimmered from its central chambers, from an old, massive lay sanctum at the heart of this great city, which powered and fueled its majesty. But before long, a burst of white light came, and black rain followed as the city was destroyed by its own power. Next, he was shown a black tomb of sorts, built around the site of this explosion, covered in spikes and sigils of warning, and finally, this site today, retaken by nature. His visions were disturbed by the sight of enemies ahead, along the river. Strange creatures made of rock, wood, and bone, distorted and spatially unbound. Through the ingenuity of Wiswick and swift actions from Curon and Albric, the party escaped these creatures that dotted the Chromatis hinterlands. As they drifted downriver, Curon looked back to see countless of these skeletal remains standing on the riverbanks. In the wake of the fight, Cal's wound reopened again, and he began to hallucinate wildly. Fear gripped him as he drew his sword against his allies, uttering, "Stay back." But Curon's magic relieved his addled mind, and Cal withdrew to his bunk, arcane firearm at the ready. This is where we left off, as our heroes continue southward, burdened with guilt, pain, and danger. It is approaching evening at this point. The sun is setting beyond the horizon as you are continuing southward. Albric and his crew are rushing about to check for any repairs necessary on the ship. As you can see, one of them rushes up and is manning the Scorpion at the front, keeping an eye on the coastline. For they once viewed this as a leisurely trip, they are now on alert, much more aware of their surroundings. The four of you are on the deck, recovering from this fight. Mostly unharmed, save Scarlet, who suffered a grievous wound to her shoulder. Cal, below, getting his own rest. You hear the sounds of the gulls in the distance, the carrion gulls. But the night is now peaceful. What would you all like to do?
Timur's gonna go back to his what's the stern of the ship? Is that right?
Front or back? Front or back?
Back.
Stern.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Front is the bow. The front is the bow.
Go back to the stern, and he's going to go back to his pile of papers and start collecting them. And then just assess the rest of the situation.
Huron excitedly to whoever will listen goes, It was a lay sanctum. That's what it was in the hinterlands. That's why it's cursed this way. That's why it's so weakest there. I cast legend lore and Ilivania showed me. The old Gwen. They built a lay sanctum, and just like in Taramran, it exploded, just like in Alicia, just like, well, everywhere it seems. Why won't we learn our lessons?
Is it dangerous?
Oh, very. However, with proper preparations, vigilance, thank you, an excursion of sorts into the hinterlands, after we've gained another shard of Ilivania's moon, could be plausible. Think of all there is to learn there, Wiswick, Kieran says, turning to his little friend if he has lent an ear.
Yeah, Wiswick's there. Kieran, you're always having these weird visions and stuff. It makes it really hard for me to keep track of what the plan is here. I don't get me wrong, I'm super excited to go anywhere where there might be, knowledge of ancient relics and stuff like that, but
Of course.
I mean, can I get a little context?
Right. Well, I apologize. I don't know if I had updated you all on this. When I died, I was brought to Zendariel, the Everflames. Heaven? Hell? It turns out they're one and the same for her. She is both a demon queen and a celestial god after taking up the past Everflames mantle. Anyways, thanks to the governor's help here, I was brought to her realm, and she saw fit to enlighten me with some more information about our current predicament, one of which was telling me that more answers lie in the hinterlands, for that is where our plane is at its weakest.
What are you particularly looking for? Like, you mentioned these shards of the moon.
Yes.
Do you think that there might be? What's the purpose of these shards? Are they gonna get you closer to Ilyuvania? And
Well, this, and he motions to his staff and kind of waves it around, and he's like, the staff was gifted to me by manifestation of Ilyuvania, and well, it's not at its full potential right now. The more pieces that I can join with it, the stronger it and I through it will become. And maybe then we can finally take the fight to the Pallid King and protect our realm.
did she happen to say specifically what it's gonna do when you collect all those pieces?
No, I don't. There's not that specific. No, just that, unable to fight off the worm, I will need them. The shards, that is.
Well, I've gone on dangerous adventures for less. I mean,
We are talking about the fate of our very existence here. I'd say the stakes can't really get much higher than that.
I don't know if the fate of all existence rides along you getting your new toy, but
Well, no, you're right. I'm sure there's many more components than just the staff of the Crescent Heart, but it's one of many.
Why us, though? Why us five? Why not somebody else?
well, if Ilyuvania is to be believed, we're the chosen ones, and probably each one of our unique quirks, staring at Timber, has some, divine fate that will allow us to unite and create a force powerful enough to fight back whatever is gonna be threatening this plane.
Yes, see, Wiswick gets it.
I was thinking more of we were all rejected or needed to be rejected from our previous lives.
That seems more likely.
I mean,
So our purpose now is... We were trying to find purpose, and this is what we found.
that seems a little dour, Kaze. I mean, some of our situations weren't as great as others, but
We're here now.
I think-
Let's make the most of it.
yes, exactly. Trying to find meaning in it won't solve any problems. Instead, we must push forward, persevere, yes? Kieran says, and, I don't know, I just imagine that he's now standing here with his one arm on the staff, and very clearly, his sleeve is draped at his side.
What time is it, Sean? Is it night?
It's around. I'd say it's really only around like 4:30. The sun is setting. It'll be dark in probably a half hour. Completely dark in a half hour. You would notice Oriel is back at the stern up there, kind of just watching the Chromatis Hinterlands himself. I guess I never really described Alberic's crew. So I'll give you a description of them as they're moving about. You have an Enduran woman who looks like she's pretty young, probably in her mid-20s. She's quite tall, probably 5'11"-ish, approaching 6 feet tall. She's very strong looking, as she is currently. She is the one who's up at the Scorpion, kind of keeping an eye out there. And her, she has this almost sun-bleached brown hair, and slightly darker skin color with these platinum gray eyes. Everyone on the ship is like not dressed for winter. Like they all seem to be quite loose on the clothes, despite how cold it is. And as each of you feel, even as you're moving south, each day it gets a little bit warmer as you're moving south, but it's still quite cold out. They all are. Each one of them is covered in tattoos, similar to Alberic's. They seem like they probably had They probably weren't always river sailors. They probably used to work at sea more often. You would have heard Alberic mentioning their names throughout these last 4 days. So this woman, her name is Kayla. There is a a dwarven fellow who has bright orange hair and a beard that looks like it's fading mostly to gray. He is very stoic and rarely talks. His face is a contortion of wrinkles. You can barely see his eyes through all the wrinkles. And he is so Kayla is the first mate. This guy is Fritz, and he is the quartermaster. You've got a all black panther-like tabaxi, who is a general crew member, but also the cook. Her name is Moon. And then you've got Trent, who is a crew member and carpenter, who is another Enduran human, who looks like he is probably Kayla's brother. They look very similar to one another.
What was his name?
Trent.
Trent.
So 5 with Alberic.
Yes, correct.
Cool.
Who is walking up to you right now after assessing the boat. Sorry about that. Wasn't sure that this was going to be this kind of trip south. It's been nothing but leisure anytime we pass Atronara, but we'll keep a much closer eye on the coastlines for you all if we need to protect you. Or I guess if you need to protect us.
No worries. I think we have an unfortunate penchant for finding danger.
Well, still no
I'm-
excuse.
Captain, I'm really my magic's a little tired. I mean, I'm just exhausted from that fight. I mean, do you have anything that might brighten my spirits, maybe, so I can cast more magic? If we get into trouble, I might not be able to help.
Something specific you're asking for out of character?
Money.
Oh. Money?
Did we even pay to
Oriel
go on this
paid.
trip?
Yeah, Oriel, we're on his bill right now. I
Can
think
we get a reimbursement or something?
Not too sure what you mean. No. But
We never
Moon
know
over
what
there cooks a mean dinner, so if y'all want to eat, we can feed you.
I guess that's kind of you. Thank you. And I kind of just scurry over for the food.
Alright.
But before that, he leans over to Kieran and says, I know you're really into this whole magic. We have a mission and everything, but I really need some money. I mean, bad. I'm down bad, Kieran.
Wizard, I'm so sorry. Did you make some bad bets in Cardolan? Were you betting on the pony again?
No, nothing like that. It's just my research. It's too expensive. I'm like 1,500 gold pieces in magical debt right now.
Oh, by the Crescent Heart, Wiswick, what are you up to? Well, I mean, I have some platinum still from our time in Myas land, Sumerlinden, thank you. It's just, at this point, the name of Sunderlinden is just so tied with being tortured and... Anyways, I have some platinums if you're that desperate for...
I mean, if you're offering, yeah, definitely. Gimme.
Okay, well, here, will 20 platinum do?
It's a start.
It's a start.
What part of 1,500 gold pieces did you not understand?
It's at this that anyone who's still on deck would notice. Moon is starting to bringing out a table onto the top deck, and they're lighting lanterns all around. And you see they're setting up the table for dinner, like a family would, and adding extra plates and chairs. While you notice Albric goes and he kind of just sort of stands at the mast, and you see there him and Trent and Kayla's at the Scorpion, so him and Trent are lowering the sails, and you see he touches the mast, and he just sort of taps it a few times, like someone who would tap a valued steed would. He says, all right,
With tap Roko.
all right, girl. We only got a little further to go. Well, really, we got quite a whiles to go, so let's do this right. And you see roots start to grow up the tree that kind of almost sprout from his hands and wrap around it and glitter a little bit of this green light that comes off almost like pollen that then spreads around and hits the boat in places, and you can see as the boat seems to almost take on shadow and light in a way to conceal as he channels Pass Without a Trace into the boat itself to cloak you at night on the river from enemies. And then he'll be like, he's still got it. All right, one more thing. And he kind of whips his hand in the air, and you feel a breeze shoot across the river and pick up the sails as the boat begins to move faster.
That is amazing.
Now those are some nifty tricks.
As we're going.
Yeah. There's a lot of profit in the shipping business if you know how to respect the natures. If you know what I mean.
I'm not sure I do. Where did you learn these tricks?
Well, I've always had a bit of a connection with the natures.
Ah, a natural man, then. A naturalist, some might say.
If you want to be fancy about it, but just a man who respects the natures.
Well, you're a tiefling, right? I guess
Sort of.
human man. Yeah. Semantic.
Don't think about it too hard. Just
Oh, my
enjoy the
head.
supper. As you see, he immediately walks over and just finds a seat at the head of the table and takes a big old napkin and just starts tucking it into his shirt like a bib as he's just holding his fork and knife, waiting for the supper to be served. He is a druid, and
I was looking for that one.
and I really just wanted to make a druid that wasn't like I am from the woods.
Yeah.
Here to protect you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just respecting the natures, and that gives me gifts.
Fucking southern druid. Well, I mean, technically he is a southern druid, so
He is a southern druid. But you would see Moon does come out and starts to put food out at the table, plating food for you all as well. It is a stew of sorts, very warm to keep you warm on this night. It has some absolutely delicious seasonings in it. It is spicy too, so if anyone doesn't like spicy food, it's going to be a bit of a problem for you.
Damn it.
It has, it's got a lot of lovely notes of paprika and cayenne, and it's very has a Cajun sort of aesthetic to the food, as there's a lot of seafood in it as well, a lot of fish in it, and sausage. It's delicious. Yeah, it's basically gumbo. It made you gumbo. Moon has made you gumbo. So those would like to partake, Meg.
Yeah, sure.
I have not had a meal like this in. And Timber doesn't finish his sentence. You
Just start shoveling it.
Huron would scoop out the pieces of seafood into Timber's bowl and go, little extra helping for you.
Thank you.
And then he turns to Moon and goes, I mean no offense, I'm just a vegetarian.
As understandable, not everyone enjoys the tastes of the river, but
No, it does
hopefully you'll
smell
enjoy the rest.
delectable. Yes, thank
We
you.
have plenty of extra if anyone would like more. Bread, some vegetables if you wish. We've got plenty of stored away, thanks to the governor's rich payment for this trip.
Scarlet
the
is
governor-
100% eating the bread.
Yeah, and the governor is silently eating at the end of the table, sort of almost not ignoring everyone, but definitely like he's not really there, like he's thinking.
Is there like plates of food in the middle of the table?
Yes.
So like while Timber's
There would
eating,
be a plate of. There's a plate of. I'm just gonna run home with this occasion.
Okay.
There's a
All
plate
right.
of.
All right.
There's a plate
Set
of
me
fried
up.
okra there.
Ugh.
There's an extra big bundle of the gumbo in the middle. You can see the gumbo has sausage and crawfish in it, and you'd see there's some some cooked vegetables there, some greens. You'd see there's a lovely loaf of bread that Scarlet is eating a lot of.
Sweet bread.
No, it's not sweet bread, but yeah, it's a
Spicy.
whole. It was a lot of food. They're definitely being gracious with their supplies.
As we're eating, I would lean over to Kieran and just say, Kieran, before we retire for the evening, would you be able to send a message to Senric just to see how he's doing?
Ah, yes, of course, it'd be my honor.
Thank you.
Huron, do you like spicy food?
Kieran's probably never had spicy food. His
That's
face
true, actually.
is like,
It's red.
yeah, more purple because blue and red.
His blue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's probably like grabbing hunks of bread, like chugging water.
You see Kayla looks at you, Kieran, and you see next to the table is this small keg, and she pours some beer into a wooden mug and hands it over to you and says, "I think that you would benefit from having a little bit of this."
Not even really looking to see what's in it. He takes it and goes to take a swig and go.
See, Albert's like, water's not going to do any good with the spice. You got to have beer. Or if you're lucky, milk. We don't got any milk on this boat, though. As to my lactose intolerance.
Some sweet milk from whatever those longhorns of Alicia are called would be perfect right now.
Oryx.
No, that was the Enduran one.
Oh,
There
it's
is,
a dirt one.
yeah, there's an Elysian. I forgot what I called them also.
Oryx.
No, the
No, it's the
Elysian one.
Elysian.
That's not the
No, those
Enduran
are from
ones.
Uduris.
Iso Toru. Some Iso Toru milk would be spot on, as they say right now.
What is that? Is it a cow?
Ah,
Cow milk?
yes, they're similar to your Oryxes of Lunchduris. They're large
Ah.
beasts of burden from Vermilcia that produce milk.
Yeah, well, the more you know, as they say.
I'll cheers to that.
All right, and you see Albrick does kind of stand up and looks around with his mug out. I understand this is a bit of a rocky journey so far, but say welcome to our new guests. And now that we've, well, at least one of us has spilled blood with a lot of you, we're a bit more like family. Welcome to the Storm Witch. And I hope the rest of our journey is safe.
Huzzah.
And
Tepidly, Huron goes to sip his beer.
it's very gross to you, but you do feel like the spice is a little more manageable.
Stormwitch is a cool name. Where'd you guys think it up from? We had a boat once. I don't think we had a good name for it, though.
Did we name it?
Don't think we were on it long enough to name it.
The Swan Song, I think. No, I don't know.
Anyway, Storm Witch, you know, whatever. You see the rest of the crew is laughing, kind of snickering under their breath. Hey, it's not important where you get a name as long as it's catchy, right? And you see Moon kind of peeks up. Yes, and as long as it actually makes sense what you mean by it when you originally come up with the idea after having several rums and ales. There's no need to bring that up. There's no need to bring that up, Moon.
I feel like there's a story behind this, but don't know if we should ask. Is that uncouth?
So you see Fritz kind of like, yeah, he lost his old ship to a bet, to a deal. And when he got this one, he was right plastered when he filled out the paperwork to name the ship. And well, Storm Witch sounds really nice if you don't spell it out. It sounds like a lightning, a witch, a real, bastard's vessel. But once you realize that he didn't put a space between those two words, it's more like two pieces of bread with a lightning bolt between it. I assure you, I meant the Storm Witch like a hag of lightning and ferocity.
I imagine that most sailors name their ships when they're drunk. That's why they're always so dirty. The names are always so dirty. I think this is I think this is cool. I like Stormwitch, one word.
Yeah, well,
Storm Witch, one word.
yeah, well, you make sure you write with neat handwriting when you're filling out forms. But yeah, anyway,
You ought to make a meal called the Stormwitch after.
Yeah, you got a great cook.
you see Moon, who has been snickering, then goes, "That's idea."
Moon, this was actually delicious. I can help you with meals in the future.
I would always appreciate another hand in the kitchen.
Timber mage hands some more food across the table to his plate.
There's plenty of food. As you all feast and drink in the night to celebrate safely passing and feeling oddly safer than you did before now that the enchantments have been cast upon the ship from Albrecht. and you see at some point in the night, Kayla does kind of step away. She was drinking less than the rest, and you see her climb up into the crow's nest, and you could actually distinctly see the slight shimmer of green goggles, similar to Cal's, that she's wearing as she is keeping an eye out on the coastlines. As the night begins to quiet down, you know, the lanterns providing a warm glow to the deck as you finish your food. All of you stuff as much as you want, having a drink or two. Is there anything else anyone would like to do tonight?
I have to send.
Kieran's a little drunk, a little tipsy.
Here. And some paprika.
Drunk off of spices.
That's the entire plot of Dune. Turning to Scarlet, Kieran.
Late night Mooney call.
Flush in the face, a little, not that flush. He goes, "So Scarlet, you had a message you wanted me to send?"
Yes, just to Senric, just to ask how he's doing and if there's anything that he might need while we're out, while we're away, and just to let him know that I'm thinking about him.
Of course.
Am I in earshot?
Kieran didn't leave the table, so
Yeah, if they're
you're
still at the table, then yeah, you are.
Yeah, Wiswick would just chime in and say, "Hey, I don't know what the deal is, but make sure if Senric is in any type of trouble, he knows that I still got friends around the area. If he needs to leave the city and go someplace, I can help him out."
I'll be sure to pass that on. Casting. Bring.
Yeah, at first you see Kieran fumbling with the copper wire and having some trouble with it.
We don't have to
Rotary?
do this tonight if you want to do it tomorrow.
No, it's fine. Check in now, just in case. Who knows? Tomorrow might. Dearest Senric, it is I, Kieran Islastana, friend of Scarlet. No, wait.
Rowan. He knows
Rowan.
he's Rowan.
Rowan Cerulean.
Nope.
Nope.
And
Okay.
just Rowan.
Damn it. Fuck. Okay. Can I start this over? Is this collect?
100% Senric in his brain is hearing, damn it, fuck.
The Crescent Heart. Okay. Kieran, friend of Rowan's, just checking in. She's thinking about you. Our adventures are going well, as adventures have want to do. If you need anything while we're out, let us know. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think I met you when I met Rowan's friends. I hope she's well. Thank you. It's getting a little tense in the city. I'm thinking of leaving if I can. I don't know what y'all did when you were here, but as soon as you left this place, I appreciate the check-in. Tell the little one that I'm thinking of her.
If you need a place, the Deep Gnome Wiswick, who I think you're familiar with, says he has some contacts still.
I think he still owes me a few coins from games we played on Scarlet's birthday.
That sounds
Rowan's
about right.
birthday.
Oh, so I lent him 20 platinum, so hopefully that's enough to cover some of his debts. He does want you to know he has contacts outside the city. If you need a place to go, he can set that up for you.
I met the drow woman She stopped by for Rowan's birthday. Brought
Cowra.
booze. Yeah. Yes, if you can get me in touch with her, I'd appreciate it. Not too long for this city. They certainly didn't like the lot of you, and I'm not willing to risk my life to stay here.
Of course, and just to clarify, we didn't do anything wrong. You're just
Oh,
ruled
of course.
by a megalomaniac, Kinsley, who thinks that he can run an entire nation over the head of the king, and, well, it's a long story. Anyways, I wish you the best, and I'll have Wiswick get in touch with Calra to provide you some aid. Love and kisses, Kieran.
Right.
Ending, sending.
Yeah. Cutting it off as he's like,
First turning to Scarlet, Kieran goes, he appreciates us reaching out and wants you to know he's doing well and thinking of you. Wiswick, you apparently owe him some money.
More like he owes me money. What is that drunkard talking about?
I don't
He's
know,
not
and
a
I won't
drunkard.
pretend to know. Anyways, he does appreciate your offer for help, and if you could get in touch with Kalra for him to set
Is he
up.
alright?
Yes, no, he's fine. It's just things seem to be heating up in Cairdolan. I don't know if it's directly because of our actions or if it's the larger goings on of two nations at war, kingdoms, I guess. But it just doesn't seem to be safe there anymore.
Is he going to leave?
He's thinking about it if he's able. So with Wiswick and Kalra's help, he may depart the city for some time.
Well, can I use prodigious memory to prepare, use a bonus action to replace a spell that I prepared with another, take sending,
yes.
and cast it using my single 6th level spell slot, because that's all I have left, and, and cast sending to him, not Kalra, and give him, just generally say, like, give him directions to, Kalra's estate. She'll be there to meet you, or something along those lines.
Easy enough to do, to arrange that, so that he can connect with Kalra, so they can safely protect each other from whatever's happening in Cairdolan. Especially considering Kalra's last message to you, where she was saying she's likely going to leave the city soon too.
Mm-hmm. And she had like the secret base that was the old.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the issue because our teleportation circle is not at the secret base, but we'll
Exactly.
we'll handle that when the time comes.
Well, the thing is that she can easily, if you talk to her, she can easily give you the coordinates. Because
I guess so.
You just need to know the right rune combination for it.
She has to invest in making a permanent teleportation circle, though.
Well, exactly. She may have found one.
Oh, that's true too.
To reactivate that may have been unactive at the time.
Nice. All right, great.
But we'll cross that bridge when it comes. So, the night goes on as you hear the lilting stream of water rushing up against the hull of the long ship.
Can I go check on Cal? You
Yes.
know, because he's technically.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Kieran's just gonna go under, I think, right? That's where the sleeping. To go check on him. I assume he's sleeping. Is he running a fever? Kieran puts his hand.
Yeah, you would find Cal sitting in his bunk. There's a bowl of food next to him for when he wakes. You can see that he is, he's got one hand hanging off the bunk, and he's got one on his chest, and you can see that it's holding onto that firearm in a ready position. He is definitely running a fever. And through his clothing and armor now, you can see the blood is staining again that part.
So Kieran will kind of like tend to his wounds as carefully and easily as he can. Like he has to like tug stuff. He won't do too much, but then he'll end by putting a wet, cool, damp towel on his forehead and leave him such.
Easy enough to do. Is there anything else anyone would like to do on this evening? Timber.
So Timber is going to go back to the stern of the ship and take out his parchment, which he's been writing on, writing letters to his kids, and just kind of like while he's writing, you could like he's got like a change in attitude. Like after he just died, he's like, well, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And he takes one of Reyna's little trinkets, the hand warmers, little rocks, and he throws it in his little pouch of secrets to his brother Yuzo. And after he like writes his letter, he actually kind of like just his mood just brightens, and after he sends it.
Absolutely. Take
That's-
your
that's
time
it.
to finish the letters and pack them away neatly with the hand warmers. Place them in your pouch of secrets to be received by your brother to deliver.
Also, one note in there, I don't know if it'll be any significance, but he tells Yuzo to send Bogdasha to collect all of Reyna's books and give them to Selena.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely. And you tuck that away in the pouch of secrets. Look up as you're at the stern. You can see that Albric is hanging out at the wheel of the ship, and he's got a little jug of something that he's taking sips from here and there, as he's keeping an eye out. The gems on his horns kind of glittering in the moonlight above. As once again you notice, like, he's got like no sleeves. Like, they're all like they're like that kid in your college campus who wears shorts on the coldest day of the year. Everyone in this crew is like that. But he kind of looks back at you as you're kind of finishing up. Say what you will about the long dark, but this is a hell of a night. As he looks up and you can see beautiful stars, because there's nothing blocking them whatsoever. There's just several moons in the sky at varying distances. It's quite a beautiful night.
It is really something else, especially to clear skies like this. That planet is awfully big. Sorry.
Planet's actually not visible. The
Oh!
planet's actually not visible at night.
Damn it! Sorry.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if there's any sort of life out there.
Yeah,
Or
well,
if-
I heard
or if those are the planes. Those are the current theories.
I heard from some guy in Vermilcia once told me, he looked up and he said, all those little points of light, each one of them's got whole worlds like ours in them. It's like, shit, that can't be. So many.
I know. That's do they all look like us? There's so many questions. What do they
I
eat?
don't even want to think about that. And he kind of like hands you the bottle if you want it.
Oh. And Timber like hesitates for a second. He's like, oh, I haven't drank in a while. Yes.
It is a lovely mead
Oh, this is good.
that I may have entirely decided was mead because I noticed Stefan having mead.
This Is this one of those empty flasks? Or unlimited flasks? He looks for a rune on it.
She's endless. Ah,
Yeah, like my...
I bought it up in Ashranari before we left.
Oh, well, here. This is what I mean. And Wiswick's gonna take out Wiswick's flask of bourbon. Is it vodka or bourbon? I don't. One of the two.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
It's bourbon, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Making sure. For some reason I thought it was vodka for a second. Oh, look, and he's just gonna pour it. It's endless too.
He looked at me and goes, he's like, I appreciate the demonstration, but please, it'll warp the wood.
My apologies. I know you care very much for this vessel.
Yeah, well, the Storm Witch, she's a beauty.
I'm telling you, I'll come up with a recipe with Moon for the Storm Witch.
It'll certainly make me feel less embarrassed when I pour it down south.
Well, then you could tell your ship is named after our delicious meal.
I appreciate it. You all seem like very respectable folk. Happy to have you on board.
We appreciate your crew and your... I don't know if hospitality is the word I'm looking for.
You know, hospitality is one of the most important things in the world. You respect those around you, they'll respect you. Same with the natures.
Did you grow up on the ship?
Yeah. Well, I spent most of my years on a trading vessel. My mother was a captain. And unfortunately may have had a few rough years where I lost that ship.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah, I used to sail all along the Telemary Sea, across the canal in Vermilcia into the other seas. Hey, I've been all over this continent.
There must be... I have not been on too many vessels, but I can see the trail.
Well, his dream is to go out into that open ocean.
What do you hope to find?
Yeah, well, the stories say all the lore is nothing but a cinder, but I don't know. You know, how could it, all this time since the conflict, there's gotta be people there. And I'd love to find them.
Well, I'm sure that there are people that would like to find out with you.
Well, I gotta make my money back. Buy my ship back. Buy my mother's ship back.
Was it taken? What happened to it?
I lost it in a deal. Lost it in a bet. Like I said, I had some foolish years in my youth.
Do you know where it is?
Last I could trace it, it was somewhere in the Telemary Sea. Docking in Byzantium and the Bright Shores. Never for too long, because I'm afraid the folks who took that ship from me, or should I say lost my ship too, yeah, well, they're in that good old-fashioned privateer business. Yeah, pirates of the sort.
Could you tell me the name of your mother's ship?
1 second as I look it up.
You don't remember off the top of your head your mother's ship that you...
I'm a bit of a drunk, if you haven't noticed.
Also, where did you get the computer? This is a nice computer. What does the
Well,
specs
you
on
see, this man showed up from the future, he said.
I think it's,
Said
I think
he
it
was from
called
planet
the
Earth.
Storm Rito.
Storm
it?
Rito.
Rito!
Nah. Yeah, it was called the Flying Fox. Beautiful red sails. Sleek, fast, strong. handle the wind and those terrible storms. Smooth as silk through the waves. It's my home. And I lost it.
Well, if I come across a ship like that, like I can have one of Vizik or Kiran let you know where it is. We are not much sailors, but we have run into pirates and did have to deal with them, or alike individuals.
Hells, if you can get me back to that ship, I'll be eternally in your debt.
Like you said, hospitality goes a long way, along with respect.
You see, he drinks from your flask and hands it back to you.
Drinks the flask and stares up at the sky.
Wiswick,
As a little symbol shoots up on your user interface that says "Side Quest Unlocked."
Wiswick is sitting next to the stoic dwarf near the edge of the boat, looking over into the water, just talking to himself, saying things like, "I wonder how many fish I could catch if I could cast telekinesis right now. I wonder if those fish go for anything where we're going."
You see
Could
the
be a
dwarf
pretty
is just
lucrative business.
he's just eating some bread, and he just kind of looks down and throws the bread into the water. As you see a few little little fish eating at the bread. I bet you gold piece you can't catch 10.
Can we start tomorrow? Like I said, I'm kind of spent on magic.
I thought this was going to be interesting. All right. He looks. Hey, you can make some gold off of the fish in this river, but there's a lot of folks fishing them, and pretty saturated market in these southern parts for the fish in these waters. But if you're determined and you get a lot of them, then I think maybe you can probably sell them in some of the smaller villages. Most folk will bring their suddenly this stoic dwarf is just talking a lot about the fishing industry in southern Endurance. It's like, you see, Vermilcia got a bit of a saturation of fish sales, especially those sailors coming from the Telemaria Sea and the other sea in the Cern River. So maybe in the smaller villages around, Western Passage, they might not see as many good sales of fish. And if you got the right fish, the right buyer, and sometimes you could just kind of put fish off as other fish, and sell them. Be like, is it fresh water salmon? And it's really some other trash fish that you caught on the weekend.
You ever worry about the effect of the ecosystem? I mean, there's a war going on. People need food. They might just start electrocuting the entire river just to get a day's worth of rations. You never know. That could really mess up the whole economy.
Shit, man, I think about that every day. Especially when those northerners up in Oxland, they don't care at all about anyone else. You can easily just destroy the entire ecosystem and completely blight the entire river. Just turn it into nothing but running water.
I wonder how much money you make if you just corrupt the entire river.
You create a shortage of food, and a lot of folk around here like their fish. Around here. But moving on from this enlightening conversation.
Evil ideas.
Yeah.
As this dwarf is slowly looking at you, as he pulls the pipe out and starts smoking, and just gives you this side eye as he's like, "I'm gonna stop talking about the fishing industry with you. You look like you're getting ideas."
Where's Oriel?
Oriel is at the bow of the ship. You see he's kind of just looking beyond on the railing of the ship, you see, just kind of looking ahead towards the downriver, leaning against it, looking out. He seems a bit enamored by the waters of the river, potentially deep in thought, but mostly maybe just staring off into the waters running around the ship.
Okay. As it got darker and colder, Scarlet would have cast Produce Flame just to have a little heater with her. She doesn't like the cold. And she'll go over to Oriel and kind of just like, I just wanted to say thank you for bringing Kieran back to us.
Of course. I'll say what I said to Kieran when I met with him. You don't have to thank me more than once. You don't have to thank me at all. I did what I had to do.
Noble sentiments, but I wanted to say it all the same.
I understand. It was a few nights ago, Scarlet, you questioned why you and why this group.
I still think that. Like I said a few nights ago, I can see why the rest of them. There's nothing special about me.
DM will amend that statement to say about a week and a half ago, actually, considering you all recovered for a week.
Player will amend that statement accordingly.
And you see he smiles at your sentiment and then looks to you. He was kind of not making eye contact before. You can kind of just see the moonlight not glittering, but lighting the crevices of the new, not super wrinkled, but new like start of aging on his face. And his hair like grew a bit longer too in the process. You can see there's like a strand of gray in the front. And you, like Timber, believe he is chosen.
Yes, I do.
An awfully large conflict coming then.
We're no strangers to conflict.
I'm curious of your considerations of the divine, given Kieran and all you've seen.
Well, I don't particularly regard myself as devout. My father worships your soul, so and I went along with it. But there's never been a place for the divine in my life. Kieran is, I don't know. I just trust him.
But like I told you when I noticed your hammer, it's not always devotion to temples or sermons. The devotion to those we love that shows veneration of their gods.
That is true, I remember that.
But it is a lot to consider to think a god is with you and behind you when you thought you were forsaken.
I still think that. I don't know why. I don't know why any god would stand with me or behind me after everything I've done.
thought I understood the gods as well. But after this, I don't know.
What do you mean? After what?
Meeting the Wayward Five. Muttered old prayers over a body and he came back.
Must mean you're chosen too.
Don't know about that.
Well, if I had muttered prayers over Kion's body, nothing would have happened, so... I think there's something to that.
God can forgive me for what I've done in the past. She, her grace, has chosen me. There's hope for anyone.
I find it hard to believe that you could have done something so horrible that your God would not forgive you. You don't seem like that kind of person.
He's quiet for a long time at that.
I didn't mean to offend. I'm sorry.
No. Of course. And you see that kind of charming face comes back and a smile. Well, there's hope for you yet, then. If I can be forgiven by the gods.
That's what everyone keeps saying.
Suppose they'll stop once you believe it yourself. He'll step past and kind of tap you on the shoulder with a smile as he retreats off.
I'll stay there for just a second longer, looking at the water and just thinking about things. And then I'll feel a gust of wind and get cold and go back inside.
And the night comes as you all find some rest, and the night passes. Is there anything anyone would like to do this evening or the next day? We're going to move into kind of speeding up the travel down the river at this point. So you can kind of perceive it as downtime in a certain way, because it is still going to be about another week and a half at least of the journey. So if there's things you want to complete within that week and a half, or things you want to observe or do, you absolutely can.
I don't know how likely this is because we're on a boat
And
and we're not really near the shore. But I would have collected ingredients, but I don't think there's anything I could have collected
I'd
near
say
the
it
shore.
would be,
With
It
Mage
would
Hand,
be-
yeah.
you wouldn't really be able to unless you asked to
Dock.
to beach to
Yeah.
dock.
Which I wouldn't
You
do.
you could do that if you wanted to at certain points. There might be, I'll say there's in the 2-week journey left, I'll say there'll be 2 opportunities to dock where they'll dock, and you'll have an opportunity to do some gathering.
Okay, all right, and I'll take advantage of those 2 days then.
All right.
What's
For
it-
your biome for that, it would be let me see, what is it I'm thinking of? I believe I'm thinking of
Is coastal ingredients?
no, coastal would be more so like the sea coastal, I think.
Okay.
I'd probably
Swamp?
put it at no, it wouldn't be swamp, not
Sorry.
these types of riverlands. It
Sorry.
would much more it
Arid?
would much more likely be grasslands.
Okay.
Because you'll notice, all of you, as you keep traveling south, that the landscape starts to shift from the northern landscapes into more shrublands on this on the eastern coast, kind of hilly and rocky shrublands, and on the Chromatis hinterland side, you would notice there are still pine trees there, but it's starting to shift from pine and fir to pine and oak trees, and then slowly into cypress trees as the surroundings are starting to shift towards this more southern Enduran climate.
Wiswick is gonna try and absorb as much information about sea life from the crew as he can, mostly to actually just teach his golem. So he's carrying his gem around, and instead of teaching it things, he's asking people questions about what's that rope called? What's this thing do? Where have you been? And like just asking questions and seeing what they say.
Yeah, I'd say that Kayla and Moon find you insufferable and don't like talking to and answering questions. Trent and Fritz are much more open about it, especially Fritz. You seem to have struck a chord with him that night. You talked about the fishing industry, and he sometimes even just kind of follows you talking about things that you didn't ask him about. When you ask him a question about something, he goes deeper than you wanted him to and keeps talking about it around you. Mind you, he's very stoic, and this is the only time he really talks, is when you ask him questions, and then he just keeps talking.
Wiswick's like, okay, it's just a learning opportunity for my golem. It's fine. Just tune him out. The golem will remember everything.
What you need to know about these all is the maritime law between Duras and the Green Empire is very different. Very different rules and regulations regarding this and that. As he's just talking about the fishing industry way too much to you. Clearly a man who has a passion for fishing.
Wiswick is just telekinesing fish onto the dock as he's having this conversation.
Different kind. Such a funny visual. I would like to find Timber at some point along this, and can we try again, Timber? Can we try meditation again? Is there a different one we could try? I mean, I like the flame, but it doesn't seem to be working anymore.
Yes. Also, I want to know that Timber has been trying to do he has been doing meditations every morning. I'm glad to see you trying again. Yes. This time, while you do it, I'm going to just do your best to ignore me. Also, Timber's gonna go down to the wait here. Timber's gonna he's gonna look in the when he went to the goes to the like the cook area. He mentioned there's a bunch of supplies, and he's gonna try to see if there's any herbs that are that help relax you. You know how there's some scent smells.
Like aromatherapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Aromatherapy, like lavender or something like that.
There is lavender.
Okay.
Moon does have lavender. Pretty good store of lavender too.
So he's gonna grab some of that. He's gonna break some of it, and he's going to make like an impromptu essence. It's not essence, but it's incense. Incense. Why am I saying essence?
They sound very similar.
Yeah.
I heard incense. It's fine.
Okay. And okay. Begin.
Oh, all right. I'll sit down, cross-legged, kind of like sit up straight, close my eyes, and try very hard to focus on my breathing.
A fish flies 2 feet away from her head.
And then Timber doesn't even like undo his arms. He just mage hands the fish off the boat.
That fish has had the worst day of its life. As it's just been sucked out of the water by invisible forces and then slapped back into the water by invisible forces. It goes down to the
That's a
water. So you'll
terrible
never
sound.
believe what happened.
At least it's not dinner.
Focus on the sounds of the nature around you. Maybe not that one.
Alright. Trying.
What brings you happiness? What brought you happiness? Just focus on that.
Do you want me to answer you?
No. While this is happening, Timber's going to use his connection with ki through people's bodies, and he's going to see how it kind of flows within her as she's breathing in and out.
Yeah, give me a
ki check.
give me a wisdom check of your choice that fits this.
I'm gonna say
Scarlet, give me a wisdom check, clean with advantage, because Timber's helping you.
Maybe like a nature or a medicine.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you for that
I
advantage.
would
You
say
can
like
do.
Oh. I rolled a 1, and then I rolled 2. So 4.
I'm gonna do a medicine check. Yeah, it's garbage. I got a nice 5 plus 3, so it's an 8.
Well, higher than mine.
Scarlet, at first, it starts to work at first. There's a sense of tranquility, but it's too shallow. It's mostly just sort of a moment of controlled breathing, the sounds of the waves. Even the ridiculousness of Wiswick slapping a fish out of the water is strangely calming. And Timber's voice is always comforting in this state. But you seem to hit a wall where all of this is nice, but you're not feeling that sense of control and peace that you normally feel. And it's almost numb for a moment, where you are expecting serenity, but you are just alive. You're just breathing.
Am I supposed to feel something, Timber? I don't feel anything.
Sense of peace, sense of calmness in this hectic world that we live in. Did I get anything from the roll? Okay.
The most I'll give you is that you can sense that something's blocking her from seizing the bliss. Like everything that she experienced there probably should have given her some sense of peace, but she wants more.
Scarlet, I remember you saying you don't remember your mother. Around the same time you said that you don't remember who Caleb was.
I don't.
Okay. And you still do not. Is that right?
No matter how hard I try, there's nothing there. It's maddening.
Looking for this peace through meditation took me years. It wasn't over the course of a couple of months. Keep practicing in the morning. You'll reach it.
That's what you say every time, and it does. Nothing gets better. Nothing. It doesn't go anywhere. It feels like it's going to go somewhere, and then it doesn't.
Well, that's better than most people. You can at least get to that step where it's feeling like it's going somewhere.
But it's not enough.
When you first tried it, after you encountered Reese, after we left
He's
Orange
Thatcher at the moment.
Thatcher, my apologies. Do you remember that piece?
The flame?
From having uncontrollable emotions, valid emotions,
Valid.
from realizing your brother is who he is, and being able to calm down from that situation.
With your
That-
guidance, yes.
That is a successful meditation. You did it.
I suppose.
So now there's a new blockade that we have to get over. I say it every time, but it's true. Keep chipping away. You'll get it. Also, I can provide more incenses next time for a more relaxing environment. Those
It's
certainly
very
help.
relaxing.
And maybe do it in a room so that Vizwick cannot throw fish around. But
That would probably help.
over time, you can block those things out.
Thank you, Timber.
Anytime, Scarlet.
Scarlet, you would find that when you attempt to meditate sometimes, or even like later in this day that Timber helped you this first time, there's random points in the day where Moon just comes up to you, and she's got these big green cat eyes with this shimmering dark panther fur. She just comes up every now and then and just hands you a cup of tea. I don't know what you were trying to do, but I think this might help.
Thank you. What's it taste like?
It has some of that lavender that Timber had taken. It's not too sweet, but it is smooth. It has a lavender overtone with the black tea undertone. It's delightful. And it warms you up because it is still quite cold out.
I was really hoping you were going to say it was a hot toddy.
No, but I'd say at least once she does offer you a hot toddy during this week.
Yes. Canon.
Anything else anyone specifically would like to do during those 2 weeks? You're on.
I would like to sending to my
Send
good
away.
pal Valen. Casting a spell as he has done. Kira, reaching out to Valen, goes. Honoro, I hope all is well with you, wherever you find yourself now. We Wayward Five are headed down to Vermilcia after reuniting on the front with young Calith. Recently, Kaze lost control and the Fey god Lu assumed control of his body, wreaking havoc upon us. I was wondering if our research with the wild elves around that has reached any amount of fruition. Let me know, and as always, may the gods watch over you, friend. Blessed in twilight, Q.
You would get a response. Modif Muthkara der Thor.
Gesundheit.
I have been working with the Raven tribe to attempt contact with the wolf tribes over the last few weeks to understand what they were trying to do, to understand the ritual they put him through. He's been predictably unproductive as the wolf tribe's hostility towards the other tribes has prevented proper research. But I have spoken with your friend, Elspeth, and she is going to do research of her own within Karamran. With some of the older texts there, since she has been graciously accepted into a fairly honorable house there. I suppose it is her years of service to the Fae that has gotten her such a prestigious sponsorship. It is not our concern immediately, but she is going to also, under your guidance, Dotha, see to my pardoning. All we know is that the ritual has something to do with, from what the Ravenborn have told us, the revitalization. They believed whatever they did to Timber was going to bring back some glory, some forgotten time of prosperity. Don't know if they thought that they were going to revive Lou himself, or if it was some sort of experiment. We raided, well, not raided, but we've found some sites that had similar rituals, and it seems they've tried multiple times to repeat what they did to Timber. But all that's left is bones.
Well, I appreciate your help in this as always. If any news, if you learn of any new news, let me know. Until then, we are dealing with some kind of curse that Lou placed upon young Caliph. And we fear that any issues concerning Kaze losing control again could be incredibly destructive. But until then, we will continue our search for the shards of the Crescent Heart, and I hope to meet up with you as we head north after finding the one within the Lake of Glass, by the Lake of Glass. Until then, as I said, the gods watch you, Valen. Be safe.
Magretolfada Gusra. Till then, whatever you need of me, you're there. I am here.
Cool. And
Cool, dude.
And that. And then during the rest of his time on the boat, Kiran is actually going to start practicing wielding his glaive / staff as a one-handed weapon. As he, he's like, all right, let's do this. He starts very simple, using a long pole arm with one hand, and And then he tries to, kick it up a notch, do some cool spins. A lot of times he drops and goes, takes it back up. Okay. And it would probably.
Timber does spar with him.
Oh, okay. And it's
To help.
pathetic.
Yeah. Just like to
I
help
imagine-
him. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it's in those early hours when Huron wakes up before everyone that you attempt these practices, and Timber being, despite his inner demon, the most disciplined, though, of the rest of them to wake up early, would be able to wake up early enough to spar with you. As I imagine you wake up as the moons are bright in the sky, attempting to do the meditative dances of your sect each morning, and the progress is slow and hard, but you are getting there. It's almost as if we could change the item to a lance, and mounted, it can be used with one hand very effectively on a specially chosen.
Who would think
Rocco.
that? Oh, that's right. And every day, Kieran would see to Rocco and be like, there, Rocco, I know being on a boat is not exactly your cup of tea, as they say. Of course, he said this all in Elvish to Rocco.
Yeah.
He almost exclusively speaks to
Was
Rocco. in Elvish.
very frustrated being below deck on a ship for so long.
So we would actually spend a little extra time there and just tell him about things and be, occasionally he could be just stroking his mane and be like, well, I've met a number of gods and goddesses now, but still have yet to see my crescent heart. I still wonder what she looks like. Silver hair, I think. Much more brighter than mine. And eyes that you just get swallowed up in. Kind of like yours, huh? And he pets them.
Although shakes his head, kind of responding, as Huron is 100% a horse girl.
Oh, what have I done?
I could always polymorph Rocco into like a donkey or something so he could walk around, a little less crowded.
Would you like that, Rocco? I think we're good. Thank you very much. We do appreciate the offer.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do during these 2 weeks?
I think towards the end, Timber would go to Kieran. Just real quick. Kieran,
That's me.
that's you. I know. 2 things. First thing is your arm. I was looking at
Yes.
my inventory the other day and doing some pondering. Do you remember
Sure.
that Hydra we fought back in Brooklyn Glen?
Ah, yes. What an odd little side quest, but very fun. I got this headband and the gauntlet, I guess. Huh?
That's correct. Well, I did draw some blood from the Hydra, and the Hydra has regenerative properties. I was wondering if I could do some research and to see if I can apply that to a human temporarily. I don't know how it works, but I would
I'll
need to
remind you,
look
I'm an elf, but yes, I see what you mean.
Yes. So as much as my lizard joke was before, I've seen it be done with other animal properties. I might try that. Another thing is I wanted to talk to Luz, and I would need a controlled environment to do so.
Of course.
If you wish to assist me. I don't think this boat is a good environment to do so.
No.
I need chains and that whole thing and be isolated
Of course.
and I guess this is 3 things, but the third thing, should we get Scarlet and Wiswick and Cal together to really fill them in on the rest of our journey and what you've seen? And is there anything that they're missing that we didn't discuss, or did you talk about it off the camera?
I think we've just about covered everything. We're heading to
Yes.
the Lakes of Glass, and then we're going to head up to Lycia to get the shards of Livania, and then we're going to fight the chained god, the Pallid King.
Quite simple.
Right? A few divergence in the middle.
I mean, I know all of this because I talk to you often, but
Right.
I've witnessed everything. I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
I wonder if I turned Kieran into a gecko, would he grow his arm back?
I'm not so sure about that. I'm not too versed in the transmutative magics, but it'd be a curious attempt. You know, there's not a lot of geckos in these parts. You will find some salamanders. If you go to the right streams and you get in there, you get knee deep in the mud, you'll find yourself good old-fashioned salamander hunt. I used to do it when I was a kid. It's a lot of fun, you know. And he just keeps talking about salamanders for 15 minutes.
I talked
Alex,
to him back.
Alex,
I'm like, yeah, Underdark
Alex.
salamanders for sure.
I have decided, based on this accent, that this dwarf is McMurray. From what
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. 5.15 inches. Sorry.
Hello, Wiswick. How are you now?
Good, thank you, Can't say. I'm gonna keep going.
Sorry, yeah,
No, no, shut up.
we gotta stop. Okay. Anything else anyone would like to do during this downtime?
Just gonna keep teaching the golem.
Great.
Just gonna practice and before, you know, like the day before we get there, Kieran would call a team meeting of sorts, including Oriel, to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Okay. So before you do that, so for the majority of this 2-week journey, things are very peaceful. There's occasionally you keep an eye out on the Chromatis hinterland coastline, and you will see these creatures every now and then. But they're far from you, and they're not. It seems like that threat was isolated because there was an easily accessible point that they could get close to the river. Most of them don't seem to go too far from the forest line in these parts. You would see, as you're getting further south, you would start to see on the western or eastern coast, you would see small villages, farmland begins, you would see vineyards, all manner of kind of, for a lot of you, unique countryside. Scarlet, you're used to the dour, rainy north, and this is growing warmer. There are these lovely trees that sprout beautiful flowers even this late into winter. The snow is gone towards the end of the journey. It's still chilly, but things are warming up. You don't require as much hard winter clothes, which granted is still early in the winter months. Being only this point, it is the 25th of Elmune Gloam. It's still quite dark, but the landscape has changed. And you can see people moving about on the coastlines. The places where you stop for timbers gathering are these small little docks that have these unnamed villages, essentially, where just a few folks live. Fishermen, farmers, vintners. Each day, some of you maybe help out some of the chores of the day, help out with the sails and different things. There's only one moment of like a carrion gull gets too close and Kayla skewers it with the scorpion. But it's 2 weeks of peace. The only disruption, though, is the looks you occasionally give to Cal when he leaves his bed every now and then. For the most part, he stays in his bed with his weapons close to him, his armor on. He never takes his armor off. Occasionally we'll find
Ew.
him huddled up close to like a corner, just sort of shaking a little bit and keeping an eye on you as you get closer. Seems to be sinking deeper into the hallucinatory effects of this curse. There's little you can do for him right now. But you're about a day's journey away from Vermilcia now. The river banks are beginning to be more populated, save the hinterland side. As you can see, a lot more farms and a lot more small homes. The style of home is different from the northern reaches. It seems to be this more white stone and clay structures with orange shingled rooftops, villas, and those sorts of things. Some Italian-like structures with flat rooftops. There's a distinct cultural difference in the architecture this far south in Honduras. Where up towards Tasaka, things were different, but fairly similar to the rest of the Quintarchy. But Huron gathers you all together.
Now, I'm sure you're all wondering why I've gathered you here today. Well, I have this amazing opportunity for you all to become blessed by the Crescent Heart herself. Now, it's only going to cost you just your soul. Just kidding. So Kieran gathers everyone, and because we've basically gone over this, he just relays the general. We're heading. Once we stop in Vermilcia, we'll stop for supplies. Let the governor do what he has to, and Cal whatever he needs to. Is Cal here for this? Okay.
Yeah, Cal's here. He's listening, but you can tell he's very, Cal looks malnourished. Like he looks like his constitution is lowering. This is too intense.
Kieran can be an intense speaker.
No, he looks like his face is getting a little gaunt. There's shadows under his eyes. He's paler than usual. He's there, but you're not sure how much he's really able to retain.
Right. So the governor can do what he needs to, and the same with Cal. And after a few days of restocking and resting, we'll continue south, past Stormrain, correct, and into the Beastlands to the Fields of Glass, where hopefully, quickly enough, we'll find our Tabaxi friend that I saw in my vision, get the shard of the Crescent Heart, and then we'll scoot on back up north, stopping in the Chromantis hinterlands, do a little research, a little fun maybe, who knows, treasures galore. Huh, Wiswick?
Wiswick stares at Scarlet when he mentions chromatic hinterlands.
What?
Nothing.
Right. Oh, yes.
No. What?
Nothing.
I don't believe you. What?
Wiswick's just smiling. It's like, seriously, nothing. I have nothing to say.
Okay, let's Kieran is speaking. Kieran, question for you: the Sea of Glass or Lake of Glass?
I'm not really sure either.
Fields of Glass.
Yep, that's the one. Fields of Glass. Thank you,
Oh,
Oriole.
okay. Yeah, I just heard that
This is
voice
the
too.
fields of glass.
Is there
The
any?
vestibule into the hinterland, or into the beastlands.
Is there anything
Yes.
about the environment that we should know about or prepare for?
Well, they're
Is-
salt flats, aren't they? On the edge
Correct.
of the Beastlands, so probably a little warmer than what we're dealing with now. Arid, maybe some extra water, but that shouldn't be too difficult with some of our magics.
Should, is it glass? Is it like a field of glass?
No, I believe that's just the nickname it's received, because it looks like they're fields of glass, but really it's just very shallow pools of water that, with the high sodium content and the reflection of the sun, make it appear as if it's a veneer of sort of reflective material.
He is correct. It is mostly known for that mirror effect, but there are, if you're not careful and you wander into the wrong parts, there is glass there. I would avoid the sand creepers if you can, because then they dig through the hard earth of the salt flats, and they heat their bodies up so thoroughly that they turn the sand and stone to glass as they erupt from the earth, leaving large burrows walled with glass, these pillared spikes that come out when they breach from the earth. Often goblinoids make homes of these burrows, especially if they've slain the sand lurker or sand creeper that has made them.
Glass? Who gives a shit about glass? That's a
Well-
Die Hard reference.
That's good to know. We should be wary when traveling on foot along these.
If the earth starts to shake, you must find hard stone to be beneath your feet.
And what about the hinterlands? Is there anything there that we should know about? We are
Well-
going to a big city now, so this is where we need to prepare ourselves.
Right. Well, on that, I had thought, with your blessing, of course, Oriole, one of my new spells I learned, Word of Recall, right? That's what it's called. Yeah. Allows me to create a spot, sanctuary, as it's written in Tales of Old, that I can instantly teleport myself and 5 willing individuals to. So if I create our anchor at Oriole's abode, once we finished our work in the Beastlands, we can instantly come back to Vermilcia and head up, fit on up to the hinterlands. This way we also can restock if need be in the city, or if we happen to leave anything behind, we can pick it back up again.
Yeah, I'm sure the teleportation circle will reduce our travel time by a significant margin as well.
That's also true. Musicbed
We
does
can
have.
certainly make space for sanctuary within my grounds, Kiran, to dedicate to your goddess.
I would appreciate it, of course. I think with my connections to the Everflame now, who knows? I feel sometimes I still feel a bit of her touch, but that could just be the lingering magics bringing me back to life.
I must insist that Lieutenant Stormrain be admitted to my houses of healing within Vermilcia to attempt to. And he'll kind of look over to him, kind of expectantly, as everyone looks at him. Relieve these tremors and toxins. He is of no shape to travel beyond Vermilcia.
Yes, I see what you mean. We did go through quite trouble to get him with us. I'm hesitant to go on without him.
Wiswick steps up to Cal and says, What do you think, buddy? You want to go with the? You want to go home?
Cal, Cal kind of looks at you with like intense paranoia as you get closer, where you can see his hand is on the hilt of his blade, and he's not really in a state to respond.
Physical, no.
He doesn't seem to understand what you're saying. He looks like he's running an intense fever. He's pale. There's red shadows under his eyes, bloodshot eyes. He looks, and I'm going to use my one. He looks like Frodo when he's got the wraith poison in him when he gets stabbed with the Morgul blade. He's literally going, "Ah!" like Frodo did.
Am I like Wiswick? His eyes go black, but he's just like still like trying to be like calming to him. He's like,
There's no need for that. Just talk to me, okay? I'm not gonna hurt you.
Bizwick, not now. He's not going to.
It's now or never, Timber.
No, it's later. He needs help.
As you can see, he is in no condition. He needs help from healers that are not preoccupied with saving the world.
I
It's
don't want to
concentrated.
abandon him if it's not what he wants.
We're
He'll be
not
safe.
abandoning him.
I promise you, he will be safe in my estate, and you will return to Vermilcia when you are done with your task. And you will see him again, and if my healers have anything to do with it, myself even, he will be strong again.
Of course. We'll leave him in your care, Oriel. Thank you for taking him in.
Wiswick's eyes turn to the normal color that they usually are, and he steps back and just looks dejected.
We will be arriving, as I have heard from Captain Albrecht, very soon, likely tomorrow morning. So we'll spend as many days as you'd like within my estate there. I'll do what I can to provide you with support and whatever you need for your journey south.
Yeah, just don't hide our guards and keep us inside the estate, please. I imagine Timber would have told Oriel the story of Kinsley.
Of course, you can trust that there will be no detail following you. There will be no restrictions. You don't even need to stay in the estate if you don't like. I'm happy to help assist you in staying in any of the fine taverns of Vermilcia.
Well, money seems to be a little tight currently, so anything you can offer, we graciously appreciate it, Oriel. We are in your debt.
Or any surprise that you think that would help us on our journey.
Yeah, maybe start a charity or something for us.
Well, I think that's asking a tad much. at the
Wayward
moment.
5 gold fund me.
Kieran! The fate of the world is at stake, Kieran. You're always telling me that the stakes have been dire from day one.
I will
Yes,
do
We
it
need all the
as I
money we can get.
I will do as I can with what I have within Vermilcia to protect you. But remember, this is not my home.
Of
This is
course.
This is just an abode I have graced to me as a ambassador. My full capacity is not within this city. But I will do what I can with what fortune I have there.
Would it be possible, Oriel, with your pull, to allow us to speak with any of the higher-ups in the Central Unterduren governance? You said yourself you're going to need allies in the fights to come, and whatever relationships I can start to sow now we can start to sow, I think, best.
My relationships with the Presidium and the Duke are new. So I will do as I must, but understand that even though this war is several months in now, the relationship between the two nations is still blossoming, if you will.
Of course.
There are those within the Presidium who still hold on to old hatreds of the Gwyn Empire. It has been a long journey to get them the side of the Duke. But I will see what I can do.
As I stated, we appreciate any and all assistance you are giving us. As it is, we are greatly in your debt.
Okay. So, the ship continues southward. Is there anything anyone would like to do before you arrive in Vermilcia?
I imagine the last day, Wiswick is just pestering Clay, like about just like prices and money and like if we can get anything for being war heroes and whatever else whatever other schemes he could imagine.
And he is mostly ignoring you. No, he'll humor you, but
Yeah, I mean, Wiswick doesn't plan any of these things to pan out. He just gets excited and starts going on rants.
okay. The final day, as the sun is rising, you all are sailing down the river. As you now can see in the distance, the river feeds into a small lake. And by that lakeside, you can see in the distance tall, bright white stone walls. And beyond them, spires and dome tops and massive structures, all made of the rooftops made of different stained glass, orange shingle tops, and the brick of the city is this amalgam of shades of red. As you can see, some of the buildings look like blood red, like the sun, while others are more faded pink. As you can see the red city on the horizon. As you approach and move through the beautiful blue waters of the lake beside the city, you would make your way towards the canal. As you can see these large doors and locks unhinging and opening as the ship begins to find its way into the canal itself. You pull up beside it as there are many workers all around that are necessary, pulling different levers and chains to open up this canal, to fill the waters, to allow your ship into the city proper. You see Albrecht speaking to a few as they pass by. They know them. They seem to recognize him as he kind of waves his hand by, and they speed the Storm Witch through with his connections past customs. But you enter into a space, and the water seems to lower in this area as you go into the next layer of the canal. You can see above you, above the walls around you, the large spires all around and the shingled rooftops. You can hear the sounds of bustling life within the city. And as you approach the center of the canal, you see the walls begin to shrink around you and descend down into a beautiful square where the ground is cobbled with multicolored stones as you've entered the center of the Blythe. You see immediately ahead of you, there is a large circle of water that has small docks all along it for ships to stop and enter into the city. A port, if you will, circular, surrounding in the center a massive structure. larger than most structures any of you have seen in your time on this earth.
It ain't got nothing to thirst more. Get out of here.
True, honestly, nothing really compares to the ancient cities of Elysia. um, but this is. Oh god, I should have had this open already. But it essentially, you see archways, pillars, columns, all making up a massive coliseum of sorts, a amphitheater, a massive structure known as the and you can hear Albrecht is kind of like describing each of these things, but this is the Floris Amphitheater, or often called the Rhoda Arena, for the purple desert flowers gathered to decorate the arena floors during the grand contest. This is where Cal suffered his defeat at the hands of another noble born that drove him north. And you can see Cal is on the deck getting that fresh air, and you can see as that paranoia seems to fade, he stares up at the arena, bewildered. He stands, and the cloak around him keeping him warm drops, and he just stands and is at the edge of the boat looking up at it because it towers above you all, hundreds of feet. As you're passing through this area before docking on the southern shore of this circle in the canal. You have arrived in Vermilcia. As you can see, the beautiful multicolored cobblestones stretch out into 7 points, where you can see large straight roads that lead down through the entirety of Vermilcia. Each of the cobbled stones seems to shift to a singular color. As you recall the stories of Cal talking about the rainbowed streets of the Blythe. And that's where we'll take a quick break. All right, thanks, folks, for sticking with us. We'll be gone for a few minutes. We'll come back at 9:30 to finish out tonight's session. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back soon.
Fire your weapon.
Welcome back, everybody,
Oh.
to Advantage in Paradise. Welcome back from our break. Our heroes have just arrived in the capital city of Honduras, Vermilcia, that they've been heading to for quite a while at this point. As they have docked in the canal in this area, the canal of the Blythe, and you can see Oriel and everyone starting to get ready to get off. You immediately hear the bustling nature of this port area. So you can see several folks all around in the work of a bustling city, especially during war times. You can see smokestacks coming from the industrial buildings around the area, and people hard at work. You can see Captain Albrick and his crew are unloading their own things that they have. They were coming down here already. They're also helping you take your horses off the ship. And Oriel is kind of gathering all of this together as you've arrived in Vermilcia.
What a lovely city this is.
Timber is a human walking through the city, FYI.
Good to know.
Huron is an
Is this
Elysian
place
elf
bigger than-
walking through this.
Oh. Is that where you are?
I'm a gray lady walking through the city. Is this bigger than Kirdolan?
No, I would say Caradolin is probably a little bit bigger. But Caradolin is tighter packed.
Wiswick is a
the-
mountain lion walking through the city.
This city is a bit
polymorph.
more spaced out and sprawled out. So there's less people that live in Vermilcia, but the land it covers is larger. So it probably would feel bigger to you, but more comfortable because the homes are not packed tight together. There is a lot more air. There's a lot more robust greenery throughout the city as well, complementing kind of the orange and red brickwork is these tall, lush green plants, trees, cypress trees, some as you get closer to the ritzier areas, some palm trees even. It's very nice and it's warm. It's probably in the high 40s, low 50s, which after experiencing 17, negative 10 degree weather in the north, it's like that first day of spring when you're wearing shorts in 40-degree weather because it feels so nice.
Yes.
Put away your sweaters. Take out your lighter sweaters.
Exactly.
Now, this is proper urban planning. These wide streets, so spacious. It really speaks to the mortal's connection to nature. These
Very
endurance-
walkable neighborhoods.
Yes.
I've
I'm
never
sure-
seen
I'm
anything
sure-
like it.
Real estate has great Zillow vibes.
The other thing you would notice is that Honduras, or Vermilcia, is built on the bones of an ancient Gwyn city.
Oh.
So you can see there is this newer red architecture that is mingled with this older-looking architecture that is preserved. You see there are buildings where someone built a house on top of ruins of an old house, where there is this mingling of new stonework with old stonework. You can see crumbled pillars in people's yards or near their shops. You see a blacksmith who has set up an entire outdoor forge within what looks like the ruined courtyard of an ancient home in an ancient villa. You can see some wildly well-preserved tall towers that look like the stonework is from a forgotten time. It
Now
is an
that's
interesting
adapted
mixture.
for use.
A mixture of antiquity and modern architecture.
I mean, it's not really my style, but I mean, you gotta give props to the stoneworkers here. This is some impressive stuff. If only they didn't do it on top of these precious ruins, these relics of an olden time, maybe we would have learned something from them. But I imagine whatever civilization that was here before is long gone now.
It's Gwen. It's all Gwen.
It's
Do they have a
reasonable.
good history of what happened before the Morasir conflict?
We know the Gwen were here. I mean, they were back in the hinterlands. Those were their ruins as well. And they fled the continent some time ago, making way for the Endurance to settle. Why exactly? I know they left the hinterlands because of the Lay Sanctum, but I'm not sure of the specifics past that.
The architecture here is beautiful. We should find a nice tavern.
Scarlet only has eyes for Forge right now. She's not gonna go
Please.
over. She's just watching.
Please, friends, why don't we stop at my villa first so we can see to Cal's injuries and get you settled in, and then you can look for a lovely tavern to have a drink and rest.
That would be best. Thank you.
I feel like Cal would probably want us to inform the army of your arrival.
That's a
course.
good point.
We will certainly work with Lieutenant Stormrain as we get him settled to alert his commanders within this city. First, we need to get him to the healers.
Of course.
As you can see, Alberic's crew members are helping Cal out of the boat because he is very weak at this point. And you begin to traverse through the Blythe. You don't actually go down any of the rainbowed streets, although they are tempting, as you can see as you go down. They go from red to violet through the streets. You can see several beautiful banners kind of go throughout the streets where there are lines across the street itself that have multicolored banners hanging from it. This place looks decidedly happier than the north in this current state. But you go down this main street, the main mosaic street here, until you reach a bridge that leads across the canal, where you look below on the bridge and you can see a myriad of ships all heading eastward towards the other river to head down to the Telemary Sea to bring goods to the newly reopened tradeways with the Gwyn Empire. And you see several ships coming back. And these are powerful ships that you're seeing that you haven't seen before. Gwyn ships. They remind you of the swan boat you took south, where they propel themselves. They are smooth and made of material you've not seen before. They are not made of wood, as they seem to pierce the water through, projected by magic. But you cross over the canal bridge that leads you into the Voshian vicinage, which is a sprawling area of lavish villas, reminding you somewhat of the district that Kinsley's Manor was in. Carefully curated. But while that district was empty of life, really, you see all manner of families walking through these streets. You can see there's no guards blocking folk from coming up and visiting the lovely park that's the center of this district. And you're led up towards the northern reaches of it, where along the a small, much smaller river, you would find his estate. Now, Vermilcia is kind of a tiered city moving upwards. You're kind of moving up the hills and mountains as you're going further north into the vicinage. And you would look up and you can see attached to the canals is a vast keep with star fort fortifications and a massive tower in the center of it that shoots up from a domed ceiling manor of stone. And this tower is massive. It shoots up very high. At the top of this tower, you could probably see the entirety of the city and miles beyond, down even potentially to the Telemary Sea on a clear day. presumably the seat of power in Vermilcia.
Taller than the arena? In
Yes,
center
the
of-
tower is taller than the arena. And the arena, though, can be seen from any point in the city, as well as this tower. As you ascend, you would look back and you could see the straight moving streets moving out like beams of light from the sun that come through the Blythe and into the Septizar and out to the outer walls, where beyond you can see the sprawl of the Brassica Reach, seeing that this is truly a very vast stretch of land. You can kind of see from this height the like hills that the city is built over, rippling like waves across. But eventually you get to this manor that is entrenched within its own kind of arboreum, as there are rich, still living evergreen trees here, olive trees, cypress trees, all sorts in this garden. As you can see, there are some Gwyn guards at the front gates of this villa. And they would swiftly come forward after opening the gates to gather whatever belongings you have to help carry them with you inside. When you get inside within the kind of, not fortification walls, but shorter walls, you would find a sizable manor at the center of the estate, and then several exterior houses or buildings to the different needs of the estate. Once inside, you find the main vestibule. It has this massive arched way opening that has no doors to it. It just opens up into this open air courtyard, sort of semi-indoor, semi-outdoor. Curon, this would remind you of Elysia in the way that a lot of the Elysian homes are opened like this to the environment around, as there is a pool in the center of water with a fountain, kind of a rectangular pool in this rectangular antechamber with columns leading up to a cross-hatched wooden ceiling above, with the open air above, with vines and ivy growing throughout it, and flowers.
An atrium.
An atrium, thank you. And then you would get into the main hall, where you would find there is a unlit but massive hearth with several tables and chairs meant to host diplomatic dinners. But beyond that, they would rush Cal into one of the side areas where you would find a house of healing, where there is you would find a grace there of Zendario, as well as several medical staff that are not clerics, that are just there to tend to the wounds of those needed. And this chamber is tall ceilinged, several beds. There is its own kind of pools of healing as well. And they bring Cal there immediately. In this main hall, as they carry Cal away, Oriel would turn and look to you all and say, "My domicile is open to you as well. If you wish to stay here, we have plenty of rooms and beds on the second story and in the outer chambers, if you wish not to spend gold at the taverns. But I understand that you value your freedom based on what has happened to you.
Bless you.
But I thank you for securing my passage back to this land. I know that I may have foolishly attempted to fight in this war and to protect these people, given my responsibilities here. But, and he looks to Curon and says, we know there seems to be something driving our union more than just coincidence.
Of course, none would fault an individual wishing to fight for what they think is right. I, for one, would be most gracious to accept your invitation of hosting us, though I cannot speak for the others.
I would graciously as well.
How's your tie?
Well, excellent. I will alert the staff of these facilities to prepare rooms for you if you would like. There are bathhouses as well on the estate. Clean yourselves up. I know we've been on the road long. It's the first place I'm going to go as soon as I get out of this armor.
Governor,
The city is yours.
Governor,
Do you have? Go ahead. Sorry.
Governor, did you have any, as Kiran said on the ship, we are a little short on money. Do you have any means of us? Can you think of any means of us making a quick coin in town?
Good coin in town. Well, I imagine there's plenty that your skills can go towards that can help in these regions, if that is something you're interested in. Although I know you are on a quick schedule southward.
That is correct.
Let me think on it. And perhaps when we sup together later tonight or tomorrow or whenever you wish to leave, we can discuss how to fund your ventures.
You still have to show me where you got that wine.
Of course. I'll have some brought to the villa for tonight's dinner. And, but for now, rest, explore the city, do as you wish. I must tend to some business, speak to some important people, unfortunately. But
Just one quick last thing. Do you know of any guilds or temples where I might find a teleportation circle? Like, a nice neutral area in the city?
well, there are not a lot of teleportation circles open to the public, I'm afraid. There are temples in the Luxem Historium, the largest being the Zendarial Temple and several others. There are several new ones that have been reopened since the Honduras' separatism.
Separation?
Separation, thank you. Since
Oh, honey.
uh,
Long day.
long day. Since Honduras' separation from the Quintaki, there's been new life in some of the temples. But there are not many teleportation circles that are not safeguarded away within the guilds and organizations.
You wouldn't have any leverage or pull with the Temple of Sindariel now, would you?
I may, but I must remind you all that this is not my home. I am a diplomatic guest in this city.
Could you at least tell me if they're, welcoming of travelers? Could I go in there and maybe try and convince them to let me use it?
I'm afraid the Zendarial temple here is slow to adopting the Zendarial theories of the Gwyn Empire. You will find some vestiges of the supremacist and toxic dogma of the North. Our clerics are debating daily the philosophies of Her Grace with them, in hopes of opening their minds. That being said, I do not believe they'll be very open.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Vizvik, there is a war going on. If Oxland had access to this teleportation circle, who knows what happened to the city?
We're war heroes.
There's
That's
no
gotta
time,
count for something.
there's
Right,
no
but we have
time
no
where
proof.
these types of magics will be greater defended, protected from just kind of loosely gifting that knowledge out. I will say I am not confident you'll be able to acquire such access in a few days. But your companion Kiran will be setting up a sanctuary within our halls, so we provide him with space for that. And that will at least help alleviate some of the travels when you are returning.
Yeah, look who's the magic kid now.
I banish Karen.
I willingly leave to my home plane, for I was never of this realm, mortals. Sorry.
Good
Myas is still a little...
Every now and then, Kiran just goes into a demonic rant.
Yeah.
We will assume you all into the collective.
You will be Myas.
Assuming control.
Yeah, that's not too far off. Assuming control. All right. So you have
Okay.
free reign for the rest of the day at this point. It's about midday, around 1 p.m. You can start planning and or exploring the city, whatever you'd like to do.
I definitely want to go see if there's a bubble bath.
Can you
There are
afford the bubble bath?
bathhouses.
Huh?
Can you afford the bubble bath?
No.
Well, maybe we can make
I'm
some
sure
coin.
Oriel has something. He said he has baths here, does he not?
He
It
did
seems
say
like
that
the
there is a bathhouse here.
But Scarlet wants a bubble bath. Isn't there a...
I don't need a bubble bath. I would like one, but I don't need one.
Well, we're in town. This is a beautiful place. We should... I don't know.
Treat
need to-
ourselves.
I was going to say it, but at the same time, I don't feel like I need to right now. Anyway, I want to stop by an alchemist. If somebody... Or
Would you be able to make a bubble bath?
Ooh. I might be able to. Let's all
If
take a
I-
walk to the alchemist.
As soon as I have gold, I will pay you back.
Oh,
for it.
don't worry
I
about
need
it.
supplies.
I am curious if I can do it.
Be amazing if you could. As we're taking a walk through the city, I want to keep an eye out for any thieves' cant. If there's any that I recognize, or any court symbols, just kind of habit. I feel relatively safe, but just want to cast an eye about us as we're walking.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
You got it.
Something that is kind of nice as you're walking around the city is just not just how warm it is, but the sound of birds singing in the trees, the warmth, just the fresh spring feeling of this city. Despite that you do still have the reminder of the black star in the sky, that it is still winter, and as the months grow deeper, it's likely to get colder here even still, and snow might even reach Vermilcia come super duper winter.
Long.
But what'd you
I
get?
rolled a 15.
So, sorry, my dice are far away, and I forgot to have them close by. There's no traces of the Crimson Court here. You might look and think something is like that, but you're not like the court does not stretch this far south. They might stretch into Tresix or occasionally dip into Zverwold, but they do not touch this far south. You do remember from your last days in the court that they were looking to expand beyond the Quintarchy in these regions. So you might be still a little bit paranoid, but you know there's no sizable strength here for the court. Thieves can't.
Scarlet found a new home.
With 15, with Thieves can't, you don't really find anything in this area because within the the Voshian vicinage, because it's a little too ritzy, I'd say. You would
Sure.
occasionally find little markings here and there, like little scratchings in like different areas. Some that might indicate like good place to pickpocket. Good money in this area, essentially. Good thieving in this area. That you can see in sort of a universal thieves camp. Or like is like, maybe a local variant of it, but you can understand easily enough that at
Chumps
least
live
within
here.
this. Yeah, chumps live here essentially, yeah. Good for scamming, good for stealing.
Cool.
And you would notice a few symbols that lead you to a drainage grate and a sewage grate that show essentially meaning safe passage beyond the guards. And you can see like there's a particular symbol that shows a cabbage, which represents that this passageway leads to the core district out into Brassica Reach. Brassica meaning cabbage in Old Lundurin. That really just cabbage town out there. It's locally called Brass Town, but yeah, you understand that anytime there's that cabbage symbol in Thieves' Can, it means something to do with the poor district.
Cool beans.
Cool. What would the rest of you like to do?
Go to apothecary, right?
Cool.
Kieran's gonna join him.
All right.
Yeah.
You. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
It's an open invitation.
We all
for-
taking a walk.
Yeah, I imagine we're all driving.
Yeah, no, I imagine you're sticking together. Okay, yeah, you can easily find an apothecary. You would find Maximilian's vials. Is the first one you arrive at. Oh, Jesus, it's dead. And yeah, it's within the You would have to go back to the Blythe to find it. You can find it on Green Street. And yeah, you can find several people going in and out. It's weird because you've been to a few apothecaries and they're often these like not seedy, but they tend to be in shady places in town or like tucked away and few people are going to them because not a lot of folks can afford an apothecary. But this place is bustling. You see there's people in and out buying little tinctures and potions and elixirs. You can find... you go into so many apothecaries where there's just like this lone alchemist who's like, yes, you would like a potion, elixir? And in this, you see there are several... This is the Apple store of apothecaries.
I was gonna say, Sean, is this the Maximilian of Maximilian's Earth and Grass?
Maybe now that to make that canon in my world.
I mean, Wiswick's fanboying hard right now.
Perhaps it is the Maximilian of Maximilian's Earthen Grasp. Yeah, once inside, you can see there are several displays where you can see apprentice alchemists are working on fresh potions, showing the process. As you can see, there are even just some people here who are like here with their kids to watch an alchemist work and to be like, hey, look at that. You can do that when you grow up. If you want to be but don't go north or you'll be considered a creep for your practices. But no, it's a very nice place, and you can easily find someone to help you.
Hi, excuse me. Can I do you have any mort flesh powder?
Any what? I'm sorry.
Mort flesh?
Mort flesh powder, of course. Yeah, we can look in the back and see how much we got. How much are you looking for?
I would like to trade ingredients. I would. Oh crap!
Oh, you're trying to do a trade-in.
I
I'll
didn't
have to
rea-
get my supervisor for that, but I need to do something.
Okay, will it take at least 1 minute?
Sure, yeah, I'll go.
Okay, yeah.
I'll
Could
go
like
get my
1
manager.
minute. Yeah, okay. I wanted to use this spell.
Okay.
Distort value.
Ah. okay.
And I'm not gonna. I'm trading, so like, whatever. But I wanna distort one of my like rare materials into very rare.
Okay. What is the? Can you? How does the spell work?
So
You're a swindler.
you can double a perceived value, adding illusionary flourishes and polish to it, reducing it. Yeah, okay. Or you could reduce its perceived value by half.
Okay. And they must do an investigation check against.
Yes,
your-
against the spell DC, which is Garbo. It's a nice. What is it? Is it 14? Yeah, I think it's 14. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna do that to like. I guess I have 1 minute, so I'm gonna do one thing. I also have one spell slot, so.
One level in Warlock.
That's right. I'll do it to one of my frozen seedlings, making that a very rare. Yeah,
Cool. Perfect. Love it.
making it quote unquote.
Yeah. You see, coming out from the back now, you can see that young staffer is coming out, and you can see following him is an older-looking Leonin. So you can see it's this very thin lion man. You can see he has these just dark black fur all around a mane that looks very hangs very close to his skin. There's strands of gray throughout it. As you can see, he's coming up. He's got the fur on his face is all gray. The fur all over him is all gray. The dark black of the mane is really the only difference there. You can see he's got this crooked staff as he's coming forward. As he's wearing these almost monk-like robes that you would kind of recognize, almost feeling like they might be of a monastic background. As the staffer comes up and says, this is my supervisor, Raphael. And you see the old Leonin goes, welcome to Maximilian Vials. I heard that you would like to trade in some of your materials, an alchemist yourself.
That is correct. I have.
Yes.
I just lay it all on the table, and I wanna.
You see this kid who's kind of being a staffer, is kind of like scratching at his nose. He's like, all right, Mr. Raphael, is you good here? Can I go move on? Go do? Yes, youngster, go do your tasks. I remember when I was a young cub working here for Mr. Maximilian himself.
Yes, it looks like you've been here many years. I have a couple
yes.
of questions, and I'm looking to buy. I don't want to trade all these in. I try to trade in 2 rares. Wait. No, because we're. Sorry, I had it.
No
I had it laid out for a second. 2 rares and 2.
The rest of you kind of 2 rares and 2 very rares.
Yeah.
And
I asked him what Maximilian was like.
and you see the lion is leaning on his staff and kind of getting low down to talk with you, Wiswick. And he was a bright man. When he settled here after leaving his work in the north to start this shop, he had one mission. His mission was to bring the transmutative properties of magic to the people, to allow those less fortunate to purchase tinctures and potions and enchantments that would help them in their day-to-day life. For he spent so many years in the courts of kings and nobles. He wanted to bring the wonders of magic to people.
Yeah, but how do you create the big rock hand?
I get asked that question more times than I can count every day. His skill in spellcraft was great, and his mastery of transmutation even greater. And conjuration as well. Few times do you find someone a master of two schools. Perhaps that had something to do with his ability to create and animate the hand. But I'm afraid Maximilian's vials is not allowed to give out those secrets. Though I do have the texts, his notes.
Can I see him?
So many young wizards come to me to ask to see Maximilian's texts. Maybe one day. What is your name?
My name's Wiswick Bilgru Farlight Yellen Gentry Pedry Netherrock.
Lovely.
I'm a bit of a spell connoisseur myself, you know. I'm a practitioner of a very specific school. You probably haven't heard of it. It's pretty revolutionary, I might say.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, maybe if you're interested, we could do a little you scratch my back, I scratch yours situation, if you know what I'm saying.
And you see, like his brow feels too heavy for his eyes, and then you can kind of see he like lifts them up a little bit, and you can see the glitter of orange eyes underneath, where you can also see some cataracts. But he's and you kind of like he's tapping the staff down in like excitement, kind of thinking like just hitting the ground with it as he's looking up. Well, perhaps you and your friends could do some work for me. You look like the adventuring types. And there's always resources that the alchemy shop could use out there in the world beyond.
I could use two.
Yeah, I kind of look over to Timber and I say,
Well, he's really the alchemist of the group. You're better off talking to him about business.
Well, I mean dangerous things beyond the little roots and berries of the world.
I don't understand. What else is there?
Yeah, Timber's like, what? All I know is digging through the dirt for roots for my potions. Well, I'm sure you know, as a studied alchemist, I'm sure that there are the glands and bones and scales and livers and hearts and all manner of organs and magically imbued parts of the world that can be placed into the potions to give you great and beautiful reactions. Some of these are particularly dangerous to gather, and not your daily tradesmen are willing to gather them for you.
I've read some books on this, but not everything. Do you have any documents or books on these ideas of using animal parts or?
Of course, we offer schooling in these arts. Someone as gifted as yourself. As he kind of motions to the rare goods in front of you.
Oh, yes, I have all of these. I have a total of 2 very rare things. No, 3 very rare things, and 4 rare things that I'm getting rid of. And I would
and
like.
What's Go ahead.
So more flesh is very rare, and I would like to scrounge out another elemental water from him.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I want to get 4 uncommon Hydra thistles.
Yeah.
And maybe like 1 or 2 which are uncommon, and then I would like to get 2 wild sage roots, which are common.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
And you're gonna use distort value on some of this to
on
get this?
one of them, on one of the rare items to make it a very rare. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't have
All
time
right.
to cast it multiple times.
Alex,
Cool.
Alex, yes. Before you start rolling dice, I also want to take a vial of Faerunian magic water and slide it over onto in with Timber's pile of supplies. I don't know if this is something interesting,
The
but
Feywater. you
Feywild.
gathered.
Feywild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Feywild water you gathered in Taramron.
yeah, sorry, that's just what I wrote in my notes.
Yeah, no problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. This
I'm
is
typing
not the
it.
Forgotten Realms.
I'm typing the new thing in.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait,
You see-
I didn't see you collect this. When did you get this?
I've been holding on to it for a rainy day. I had 3, but I gave 1 back to Elspeth, and I figured now's a good time as any to see if we can get something out of it.
He does look at it, and he immediately lifts it up, and you can see the glittering, almost silver, opalescent water within. And you can see, you see those wrinkled eyes open up. His eyes are like how wrinkled a bulldog's eyes are, where it's almost completely concealing them. And there's just the glittering of the light of the water glowing back in the orange eyes as he kind of does a happy Yoda dance a little bit as he's like, oh. This is exceedingly rare. Exceedingly rare. I used to... In the stories, you could find this all over the land once. But if you know the stories of the Feywild and its fate, this is... Where did you find this?
Let's just say I have friends.
In Taramron, right? We found it exploring the forest of Taramron. There's multiple cracks in reality where the Feywild and our planes. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't. Sorry.
Sir, I'll trade this vial, and I pick up the vial that was for those books. I have that book on. I'm curious about that you mentioned earlier, and I'm also curious.
Books? If we're trading that for books, it's my book. I want the Maximilian book.
We can read it together, Wiswick, at night, okay? I read one page, you read the other. What do you know about regeneration of, or using aspects of animals for your own benefit?
Oh!
Hello.
Oh. He looks and he kind of examines. You see him like this Leonin was probably like as tall as Curon in his prime, and the age has shrunken him down that he is like probably Scarlet's height now. Maybe even like he hunches enough to be a little shorter than Scarlet. And you see he kind of looks and he's examining Curon's arm, and then looking back to
What arm? There's
to,
nothing there.
Timber. This sort of alchemy is best known in the confederations of the Dragonkin, particularly amongst the Axolotl-born. These folks in the southwest are particularly gifted in manipulations of biology, nature, and, of course, regeneration. Naturally gifted in it themselves within. They know its inner workings and what creatures and what ingredients can make up potions and elixirs. It's very painful, I've heard and read, if you are to regrow limb and bone and tissue.
If you think it's painful to regrow it, imagine losing it. I wouldn't know. I was dead at the time.
Huron.
Yes?
So you don't have any educational books on this, but this, would your book on the animal organs be of any use? in that aspect?
No, it would certainly be an introduction into what would lead you to that knowledge.
Okay, okay. Tell you what. How about I trade you, and I take out. Oh no, I don't want to trade that. I take out my potion of. No, I don't want to trade that either. Can I use your alchemy table in the back?
Of course, our alchemy tables are open to the public for a very small fee.
Meh.
If do you have a good setup? Would it provide me with a +2 bonus, or like a +3 bonus?
Our setups are as they are, and they provide what they can. It is up to the skill of the alchemists to go further than that.
I will.
Sounds like you're not gonna get a bonus with those.
They are, as I will repeat, public alchemy tables.
Right.
Yeah,
And I am going to say only cost 5 copper to use. So they get some heavy use.
Well,
Might take a few times to get the burners started.
well, we're going to keep this Fey water vial, Vizek. I'm going
Hey,
to
what?
and how much is this book of yours? Can I purchase it off you?
If you're going to trade me this vial of
No, I'm going to
Hey,
throw you
well.
gold for it.
What the hell?
gold, if I'm being quite honest with you, I am eager to see and use that vial of liquid. That is rare substance. It can experiments. We could create new potions.
That's
with
right.
this.
Yeah, Timber, new potion.
Shh. That's what I'm trying to do. I might need this. Anyway.
Well, the texts themselves, I suppose, if I were to part with them, as they are one of a kind, we could separate with them for this particular text for 1,000 gold pieces.
Woof.
God, the crescent. That's expensive paper.
It's not the paper that's expensive; it's the knowledge.
Yes, that's right.
So, for your reference, Timber, if you purchase this, you will essentially get, you will be able to upgrade from proficiency to expertise in your, in that.
Tempting.
Was there
Is there anything I
many?
could do to help?
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Fine, you can have this vial for that.
Oh,
1,000 gold pieces, right?
So you're offering the vial for the trade?
Yeah.
To give you a little more for what you're offering, I will trade you the book, what you need in supplies here with these other trade-ins, and I will allow young Master Netherrock to read a few pages of Maximilian's notes. Not keep, to read under strict supervision. But a deal is a deal. And he'll retreat to the back, and he'll come out with a fairly old-looking text. He's being very careful with it. You can barely discern what the cover once said on it. Although it has like its own like note on it that they have placed on it. It says Maximilian's bones, bloods, and organs. And it is all about how to hunt for materials amongst living organisms. And he will hand that over to you in exchange for your vial of bay water.
Wiswick asks Kieran to open up his bag of holding, and he pulls out 2 geodes that he purchased a while back that are just like stone and crystals, and he casts Summon Golem with the stones next to his arcane core, but it's like not enough to make a full golem, so it's literally just like a head that he's holding in his hands, and it's got like 2 gemstones for eyes, and I look at it and I say, okay, final exam of the entire century. You've got to memorize things as best as you can. You hear me? It's all in Sniff Network.
Okay. So, Wiswick, I'll say there will be a time. They're not going to do it today. They're going to offer it to you tomorrow, so they can compare the texts.
Okay, well, you heard the plan for tomorrow.
Yes. In order for you to observe some of the Maximilian's notes.
So
Also
Sean can
gives-
figure out what that actually entails.
Yes, so that Sean can figure out what you get out of that.
I understand. Yep, security precautions and all. It's a very important text.
Okay. Kieran.
Kieran had 2 things he wanted to do. First off, super easy. He wants to inquire if they sell ointments for true seeing.
Ointments for true seeing.
It should be 25 gold pieces worth of. The last ingredient's fat. An ointment for the eyes that costs 25 gold piece. It's made from mushroom powder, saffron, and fat, which is consumed by the spell.
Ointments of what is it? Ointments of true seeing.
So yeah, it's for the spell true seeing. He just wants to have the material components available to him.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah, they absolutely have those things here.
Awesome. All right. So we're
How
gonna
many purchases? How many doses do you want?
We'll go 2 for now.
Okay.
So
Cool.
50 gold, unless there's inflation or whatever.
Nope. 50 gold is fine.
And then something that I forgot to do earlier. He's going to excuse me, my elderly Leonid friend, if I could borrow you for a moment. You seemed like a wise and learned old one. He's gonna take out the legs, I guess, of the construct spatial temporal things that we fought briefly, and put them on the counter and go. In our journey south, we were on the river, passed by the hinterlands, and some creatures attacked us, and this is all I could recover from them. I was wondering if you or if you knew someone that could get us a little more information about them. They appear to be some kind of construct. Elements of them seems almost not tethered to this realm.
You see, he picks one of them up and he once again holds it up so that he can push his wrinkles up to look at it in the light. It might take some time to observe, but if you're staying for a little while, I could task some of my researchers onto it as myself, and it may take a day or 2, but we can see what knowledge and arcana there is on such constructs made of what appears to be root and bone and flesh.
Of course, whatever you find, we appreciate the assistance.
Do you mind if I hold on to these while we research?
Of course. I'm sure you will know better to do with them than I.
And I always ask this before commissioning any sort of research. It will cost some money for my researchers' time.
Of course, I understand.
I insist on paying my interns and researchers when it comes to these things, you must understand.
Oh, no, 100%. A good day's work by anyone should be properly compensated, even if it's for experience.
As we do not pay people in exposure here or experience. No, you get a good education here at Maximilian's Vials, as well as a livable wage.
Fantastic. You are a shining beacon of equality in this realm.
Sean's staring at the camera with bloodshot eyes right now.
I also want to provide you with this.
And I hand him a half of my 2 socks of finding, and I say,
If you need to get in contact with us, or, you know, if you want to make more trades while we're out and about, this is just a handy tool for exchange of goods.
and I like stick my finger through it, and you see it come out the other side of the sock.
That's so funny. I realize that on stream I inadvertently created the item that that we have in your game, Stefan, in our
Oh yeah.
with to be able to pass simple things
Right.
back and forth.
Except for there's a lot more pouches there, but yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, yours came first.
Well, technically, Timber made it first with his pocket of secrets.
Secrets are no fun.
But also, technically, this sock item, this is one of those situations of like stretching it out to get it more uses out of it when it was invented solely to find the other sock that you lost.
As long as it's more than 10 feet apart.
True. You're right. Inadvertently giving you a very powerful item. It's great though. No, I love it. I love my favorite. My favorite use of it was when you were stealing mandrake root out of the cart for it with it.
Yeah,
And then also that time you're just stealing gold from the Lord Harrison.
What's
Okay.
he up to, I wonder? I should send him a message. Like, yo, what's up? Our lives are
God.
fucking great. How are you doing in jail?
Yeah, he's just rotting in Kinsley's prison somewhere. Okay. So, he kindly accepts it, and is going to start working on research for Kiran. Anything else?
I do have. Yes, I have. While Raphael is talking with one of the others and not Kieran, I just want to like go up to him and just say really quietly, Kieran, would this be the kind of place where we could find something that could potentially restore memories?
Ah, yes, that's quite the question, isn't it? Once Raphael's done, maybe we
She
can...
looks terrified as she said that.
Maybe if I was
and
able
Kieran's
to afford
kinda
a
like-
book.
What?
Are you saying there's a book on memories that...
No.
probably cost
I'm
1K?
just being a piece of shit.
And he's going to, with like so like he's talking to Scarlet and then turns to Raphael, leans against the counter, like the staff in the crook of his shoulder, one arm. He's like, also one last thing, Raphael, because that's your name apparently. I didn't know that before.
Yep.
My friend and I here were wondering, what do you know about missing memories?
Missing memories. Depends on the nature of the lost memories. Was it some sort of enchantment, curse, or even a potion of sorts? Depends on if the memories have been lost, or if the memories are clouded, concealed.
Looking back to Scarlet, Kieran turns back and goes, I think they're lost. See, it was this entity known as Myas, a scathed fume of the Shadow Realm. He was haunting a town up in Oh, sorry. Anyways, we dealt with that. I died there. That was fun. Anyways.
I think they're
this-
concealed, aren't they?
Well, are they concealed or are they gone?
I feel kind of just like, I don't want to have a big conversation about it, but like, I feel something there.
A potion can take care of a concealed memory, unlocking it in the consciousness. A lost memory. Research has gone into this, and it is very difficult. There are also very few situations of lost memories. Most situations are hidden, either behind your typical memory loss, trauma, potions themselves that have taken the memories, or just those who need a quick reminder of where they left their coin purse.
It's a little more than that. Where the memories were stolen, the creature that stole them sustains itself on the anguish of human souls. So,
I see. There is not a lot of research into that field, although I do know there has been attempts, and those who've encountered oblexes that have eaten the memories of their victims or consumed, and there is something blocking our knowledge, something beyond these memories. They don't return upon the death of the creature. We've read of those who've slayed the oblexes, and their victims do not regain their memories. These are lost memories. But from the research, they must go somewhere. If they can be consumed, if they can be manifested outside of the mind, then they must be something. And the myriad of planes of existence in our great cosmos, something gives memories life. Perhaps they return there.
are you suggesting a plane of memories?
Perhaps.
Of course, yes. It all makes sense now. There's a plane for just about everything in our damned universe. Plane for memories. That's it, Scarlet. Yes, and the hinterlands is where it's weakest. I wonder if that's why she said to go. No, I'm sure. Maybe. Raphael,
Friend
thank
likes
you.
to talk to himself quite a bit.
You get used to it.
If you'd like
I
to
do it quite a lot myself, so I quite enjoy it. The process of the mind is curious. The process of memories.
Yes. We could purchase one of these potions of memory restoration if you'd like. See if that has any effect.
We have them in stock if you'd like.
I don't want to give you any false
don't-
hope, though.
Oh, and I don't want to waste money if it's not going to work.
Hush! Money is nothing. How much? Excuse me.
Well, if you're looking for a minor healing potion, or minor memory potion, that's fairly inexpensive at 25 gold per diamond. How long ago were the memories lost?
6-7 months ago now?
Yes.
Well, you may need a greater memory potion for those sorts of things. It will
And how
run
much
you
will it-
closer to 250 gold pieces.
Do you have anything
Kieran,
more
that's-
substantial than
That's
that?
too much.
Well, there's superior memory potions, which run about 1,000 gold pieces.
That's
much-
too much.
How much are the ingredients for the greater?
The ingredients, if you're not brewing it yourself, you could purchase those for 150 gold pieces.
Looks over at Kieran and Scarlet.
Done. We'll take them.
Absolutely, I will have one of my staffers collect those ingredients for you, as well as whatever else, and as your ointment as well. Happy to do business with you all. It's just been quite the day. I usually stay in the back doing more of the research. I don't talk to a lot of customers. not a lot come in for trade-ins. People often come in here for minor memory potions and other small tinctures. It was a great joy to meet you, Iswick, and your
Raphael.
friends.
Yes, it's been quite the pleasure. I am Kiran Isilistana of Alicia. He puts out his name.
Raphael Flamens.
It's great to meet you, Raphael. If we could do something for you to acquire that book a little bit more permanently, that would.
Certainly, I can think of certain things, and when you come back to check on your research, perhaps I'll have a few jobs for you. We certainly can afford to pay with gold and texts and other things.
Sean, I don't know if this is kind of like a magic shop in general, or if it's more of an alchemy thing, but I have a few more small transactions that we can make off stream.
Yeah, if there's certain things that you that would apply to this place, we could definitely do that. But it's sort of mostly an apothecary with some minor magical things as well.
Yeah, it's not I'm not pressured anyway, so it's no big
Cool,
deal.
cool. All right. So the day is getting a little later as you've kind of explored and found this shop in the Blythe. Do you have anything else you'd all like to do before returning to the villa?
When we
I
go,
do have just random question. Would we have passed by Blue Street? And if we do, would that trigger any memories of that stupid story that Cal made up when we were being interrogated by Kinsley?
Blue Street is 1 block away from Green Street, where you currently are.
Oh my goodness.
So you would remember the way that you and Cal made up a ridiculous story about you being investigators, and how you investigate. What did you? Caffeine.
Her caffeine was the woman's name, and there
Yeah.
was some stolen goods.
Yeah,
were
you're
stolen.
you're private investigators investigating stolen jewels, I think, for a woman named Caffeine. on Blue Street.
I distinctly remember there being 3 or 4 different versions of the story.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I remember.
This is the one I remember.
My favorite part was when Scarlet couldn't remember some of the details of the story.
Oh, because I remembered, Shannon remembered, but I purposely said that she was blonde when Cal said her name was brown.
Yeah. But yes, you would see Blue Street there, as you would see the blue cobblestones that lead into there, and the blue banners within.
I think of Cal. I hope he's
Yes.
doing okay.
It's fine.
on our way back, can you folks help me with some preparation for some of these brewing of potions at Kinsley's? Orioles Estate.
Yeah. Whatever you
Yes.
need.
So yeah,
And
you can
thank
absolutely
you
help them.
both.
Yeah, so when we get back,
Thank
I would ask for assistance for brewing a lot of these potions. Well, actually,
I have fire. I help.
I have
actually,
one
I like to make
Honestly-
4, but
Honestly, most of what your help would be is like when someone says, "Hey, can you help me in the kitchen? Can you chop those onions real quick?"
yeah.
It's essentially just
Yeah.
helping you like cut up some things that aren't going to absolutely destroy his potion when you accidentally grind mort flesh with the wrong berries.
Yeah. The first 2, I have. Now I've got more elemental water from the trip actually, and also bought some more. I'm gonna make 2 tries at making a longevity potion. If the first one's successful, then I will stop there.
Okay, go for it.
This is +1. Oh yes. That's a 23, baby,
Baby.
Nice.
Oh, hell yeah.
for 1 longevity potion.
Fuck yeah, Sea King.
Where's the guidance?
Yeah, that's right. Guidance on everything.
Oh,
forget that I have that.
Well, what's the DC for that?
Thanks.
It should be pretty high.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So enchant potion. So it is 12
I'm looking
plus
for it on there. Why
plus
can't I
plus
find it?
3. So it's and then plus. I think it's very rare. I'm pretty sure it's very rare. Yeah, plus
Yeah.
5. So it's a DC of 20.
All right, so you just make it.
Yeah,
You
23.
successfully
Yeah.
make one. Excellent.
And I'm going to stop with that one, and then I'm going to make.
So yeah, you would all see that Timber, excitedly after kind of this long hour of brewing, is able to produce this amber, this somewhat semi glittering amber fluid. It almost looks like liquid gold that he has carefully gathered into this small, tiny vial.
This will make you. At least according, I never drank it or tried it on anything, but according to the theory, this is could make you live longer. And then I'm gonna try to make another invisibility potion. It's the same DC.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Thanks.
Oh,
for
with
the
guidance. Nice.
Thanks for the guidance.
Think Clayton.
Oh Jesus. It's
Don't
not,
you have advantage because we're helping?
No.
Because none of you are
No,
proficient
that's not how
in
this
alchemy.
works.
What's guidance? It's 1d4.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not gonna be enough. That one's blown. And I'm gonna try to make. What else do I have?
The broken when a potion fails, it also breaks the vial.
Yeah.
Just so you keep track of that.
Oh yeah.
Keep track
Hold
of
on.
your
I have to keep
vials.
track of my vials. Yeah.
Yeah, your vials.
I only have 3 left.
And
so-
also remember that you can recycle vials also when you use the potions if you remember to do so.
Thank you.
If you don't glug them in.
Yeah, totally been doing that. I got 2 more vials.
It's very easy in the moment to just smash a vial in combat because it's cool.
Yeah.
It feels good.
I guess I'll make another potion of speed with my last tail leaf.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll for it.
All right, sorry.
With guidance.
With guidance, thank you.
What's the DC for that one?
It's lower.
Yeah.
I got a 19 plus 1 plus guidance, so that's
Yeah, you're
gonna
good. You're good.
fast that one.
Nice.
Potion of speed. And then I have one more vial and elemental water. And should I make the governor 2 of these potions, Kieran? What do you think?
What potions?
To extend his lifespan?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I, on a philosophical level, believe in extending one's lifespan past what the gods give us.
He did just expend his life to give you.
True, and I appreciate that, but maybe there's a reason for that. Didn't we just purchase ingredients for a potion
yes.
of memory restoration?
Correct, and I have 1 more vial left, so let me use it for that.
Okay. The DC,
If you have
the
something-
DC for that is 14.
Okay. I'm going to
If you have something else that you need to make, you don't have to make that right now.
Oh no. We can easily.
You can always
vials.
go back and buy vials from
They're
Next
cheap.
Millions.
Or go to a general store, they're probably
That
more.
was Scarlet stalling.
Yeah,
They are probably cheaper at a general store because they are.
Yeah.
And buy them in bulk. What are you doing?
Costco. Where's Costco in Vermilcia? I passed. It's 17 without
you
guidance.
would, you would get a material in there that would have it would be a thick liquid that is somewhat silver in color and has a dim glow to it.
This looks correct according to what I read, and it Should be okay. Shouldn't be harmful. I'll give it to
You
you
sound so
for
sick.
now. You can decide when to drink it.
Thank you.
Of course.
You're not going to
I'll
do it
listen.
now.
Do you think I should?
Well, quicker to get it over with, right? They say ripping off a band-aid.
But what if it doesn't work?
Then we'll keep
What if
trying.
it does work? What if
Then-
it does?
You've got your memories back, and for better or for worse,
At least you know the truth.
damn straight, Wiswick.
Come on, the sooner the better. We don't know how this effect works. I mean, it could not work tomorrow morning if you don't drink it now. For all we know.
I'm gonna make 2 more healing potions. General.
Yeah, you all are kind of
Oh,
in a
well-
general room that's just off of the atrium. So there's kind of nice kind of open air. As Timber, you see Timber messing with his Gwyn chemistry set essentially. As you're all sitting here and kind of there's just a little bit of orange light from the setting sun, as it has taken you a couple hours to make all these potions.
Can I just say that I went to a general store, bought some.
I will allow that. Go ahead and
How
spend that money.
many copper?
All right,
vials?
all right. No, because we've agreed that glass vials are actually pretty expensive
Damn it.
based on our decision to use your stat
Yeah.
sheet, your chosen alchemy setup. And
I wanted to make it fair, and I'm biting myself for
Yep.
that.
glass vials, particularly those that can sustain the materials and the pressure of alchemy, cost 20 gold apiece.
Okay.
You
Gee.
gave away my glass vial too.
Yeah, for your rental for some reason.
Your book.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for my book.
You can buy cheaper ones, but it will increase the DC for your rolls.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm gonna buy the quality. I'm only gonna buy 2, so
Okay.
40 gold.
I might have to do the same thing.
There's many stories of alchemists buying the Costco brand vials and having it explode in their face.
I passed for both those. They're low DCs for healing growth.
You got it.
I'm done doing things.
Great. So, you all are in this this side room where you've found a space to create these potions. Scarlet, you hold this stoppered vial with silver liquid in it, hopes and dreams within of your mother and whatever else you've lost. As there's golden light emanating in, and the sky above begins to glitter with the stars of the evening.
Are you ending, or can I drink it?
You can drink it if you'd like.
Cliffhanger.
You watch as you see
Okay.
Myas.
I'm going to unstopper the.
Sorry. You aren't the woman, oh, Adrian. It's just all Myas' memories.
You get
Memories of 1,000 souls, Myas consumed.
Sorry. I'm
You
done.
good?
I'm done. Yes, sorry.
Okay. I'm going to unstopper the vial. I'm gonna reach out and hold whoever's closest, either Kieran or Timber's hand. I'm gonna drink it.
Gasp. Bottoms up, as they say.
You drink this silver elixir. It is somewhat difficult to drink. It has a pretty bland taste, though. It's not hard to drink in the sense of that. Your whole kind of mouth goes numb as it goes down. You do feel sick for a moment, but then you feel warm. You feel a intense clarity in your mind of the last 6 months of your life. You remember every detail of the last 6 months, from sharing drinks with the Wayward Five beneath the glittering lights of the Bracklin Glen Park that you restored, to the blistering pain of breaking your leg in the chambers beneath the hideout of the the syndicate with your brother above, you feel all the pain and joy of 6 months at once. And you search within that myriad of feeling and emotion. Bubble baths, but also the frigid cold of the jail cell in the basement of Kinsley's estates. You hear the laughter of the Wayward Five as Miles yells at Davos for the shit that his dog shat in their tavern. You see Elspeth's face, you see Teramron's face, you see McClear and his daughters and his wife. You push through all of this to find more. There's a faceless man, a faceless woman. Do you remember a fire, a flame? And do you remember a smile that's not there anymore? But you don't remember anything beyond that. It feels like months of time passes as you feel all of this. You come back.
And she just shakes her head.
It didn't work?
Patting her on the hand, Kieran goes, well, looks like we still have more work ahead of us.
Timber like slams his hand on the table, like looking at like the list that he wrote. Like, did I do the right thing? Like, what did I not?
No, Timber, I don't think it was. I don't think it was you because I remember everything from the past 6-7 months very clearly. But there's two things that I don't have. They're too far gone. But thank you for trying.
Well, maybe if we do some jobs for him, we could get that superior potion, or at least the ingredients for it.
I don't know if even that would do it. I think what Kieran was saying about a plane, I think they've gone somewhere. We have to get them back.
If Raphael's right, what he postulates, much of what I've been reading about concerning the planes of existence. As I said, there's damn near one for everything. Plane of memories sounds a little outlandish at first, but the more you think about it, the planes are manifestations of us mortals at times, or they manifest within forms we mortals can know. So,
Sean, I've done some research on other planes in the past. Do I know anything about a plane of memories or a cognitive realm?
Give me an Arcana check. This is a very high DC.
All right.
I know you have a very high Arcana,
Arcana.
but this is a very high DC.
18?
18's not going to cut it.
Guidance?
Guidance won't get you there. But amongst your friends, you dream of both joy and sorrow with these perfect memories that you have now. It's almost as if you have a keen mind for the last 6 months. But there are still missing faces. As you all settle down to enjoy an evening within the twilit, warm and beautiful villa, Governor Oriel Clay, and ponder the theory of a plane of memories in the mission ahead to the fields of glass. That's where we'll end tonight. Aww. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this adventure, this new, beautiful place the Wayward Five find themselves in, and the journeys to come. You can join us again for more adventures
Paradise.
in Paradise. As Sean opens up his programming. There it is. We have other shows throughout the week. Next one will be on tomorrow night, where we are hosting a Jasper's Game Day Presents show. Shadows in the Mist, a new Curse of Strahd game from Jasper's Game Day. As it is on its 5th episode tomorrow. Features special materials from Beetle and Grimm. And it's a great time. Shannon and I watch it, so come join us at 8:30 tomorrow night. Thursday night, we've got Relaxing in Paradise with myself, where we work on different stuff for the campaign, maps, minis, all sorts of things, and play some games with community members. And then on Sunday, we have the Sean and Shannon Power Hour, where we will recap tonight's episode and speculate about the future, as well as potentially play some games and bet on D&D goods. Shannon did,
picture phone?
as
That'd be fun.
Shannon did have to. Oh, that would be a lot of fun.
Right?
Ooh, yeah, maybe we'll have to do that.
Also dangerous.
Jackbox.
Also dangerous.
Also
Jackbox
dangerous.
game.
Also dangerous. We'll have to put some rules on it for sure.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it's on
ground
stream.
rules, 100%.
No dicks
Yeah.
allowed.
Anyway, this
Yup.
Saturday we have our next one shot in Paradise, but with our lovely Stefan DMing. He'll be DMing Disaster Hamsters, the new module
Whoop, whoop.
from Plot Hooks.
That's you.
That's right, you are DMing this
That's you.
Saturday. And then, of course, on Fridays, Shannon and I play in Scales Above at 9:30 Eastern Standard over on Roll for Damage. So check us out there as well. That is everything in Paradise. So thank you for joining us here. And Shannon has given me a person to raid tonight. So go ahead and go and give our love to DM Leads. And have a lovely
Did you say
evening,
DM
everybody.
bleeds?
Leads.
Oh.